It's time, guys. My favorite time of year after 30 blends. After 8 weeks, tonight, we're going to crown a champion for Blendageddon number 5 of 2022. Also tonight, we are raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, one of my favorite charities, to help support each and every year around this time when we do the finals for Blendageddon. The goal tonight is to hit $10,000, hopefully exceed that. Every $10 you donate will give you one entry to win one of the prizes that we have tonight, donated by myself, Durell Stewart, and countless others from the amazing whiskey community. So the 4 blends tonight going head to head belong to Oisin Hayes with My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard, Keith Thompson with his Sunday Evening Cigar Blend, Shelby Strunk with The Finisher, and Eric Sawyer with No Butterflies Were Harmed in the making of this blend. As you know, tonight's judges are the big boys. We brought in Matt Porter, ADHD whiskey himself, world's top whiskey taster, and the one and only Fred Train Minnick. All right, guys, the night is just getting started. Pour something good, sit back, relax. Let's raise some money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Let's welcome in our 2 guest judges, Matt Porter and Fred Minnick. Good luck to all the challengers in the finals. The finals start right now. What is going on? Whiskey Wednesday night, Blendageddon, the finals is about to go down. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jason C. from the Master and Drum. Welcome. Like, subscribe, do all the things. You guys know the deal. That's right. A little dressed up tonight. It's a nice big occasion. Blendageddon finals tonight. We got some special guests coming in to help judge the final 4 blends. Not only that, but really the main part of tonight is raising some money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The last time I looked, I think it was a little over $8,000 that had been donated. Let's see what we're up to now. $8,751 right now is the goal is $10,000. I'm guessing we're going to exceed that. Basically, I have Shayla from Whiskey Central, Shayla Bot, also who's going to be helping with taking down all the names again. Every $10 that you donate, you will get one entry to win one of countless bottles. The list is in the description of this video if you guys want to see all the different bottles that are up for grabs tonight. And also, there's some sample packs in there. There's a couple of experiences from Bardstown Bourbon Company that were donated from them. And it's just going to be an amazing, amazing night. So 4 blends, head to head. It's almost New Year's. This is how we close it out. I think the timing worked perfectly. And I'm going to start off the night with a little George T. Stagg. That's right. You know why? Because it's that freaking good. Just cleared 9K, says Bourbon. Love that. Very, very cool. You didn't realize, Deborah, come on. You got to get on the dress code tonight. I do want to thank everyone that's already, oh God, I forgot how good that is. I do want to thank everyone that has taken the time to send in bottles, donations, and also send in their donations already early before we even started tonight. So that's how amazing the community is. This has been a 9-week buildup to tonight of Blendageddon. More blends than ever. Start off with 30, down to 4. And we had some amazing judges, guys. I mean, fellow whiskey tubers, as you know, Scott from My Bourbon Journey, the bourbon judge, came in. He did some judging. We had Nancy freaking Fraley coming on, who did last week's bracket, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, followed by, Ryan Cecil from Pursuit Spirits and Bourbon Pursuit. So some heavy-duty palates coming in to really help out with the entire lineup this year. I felt like each and every blend, it couldn't just be me. We had to give each blend its due, get some really good palettes on it to try them out. But tonight, as you guys know, 2 judges that I love to bring in each and every year, and I really thank them for their valuable time and coming in, helping out with this. to help pick the winner because I feel like I can't just do it myself. First up, Mr. Matt Porter himself.
Woo! What's going on? Hey,
what's going
on? I like your Blendageddon hat. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I figured I got the big B for Blendageddon. Dude, I'm loving you are so styling right now.
How the heck are you? I'm so excited for the final.
It's awesome, man. You're looking dapper as usual. I love you said you went shopping just for tonight, right?
I had to look. I just had to look, and then, of course, that's the end of my sentence. Things are starting weird, but they're just going to get better. I promise. That's the way I operate in and out of the bedroom.
Oh man, this is going to be great tonight. Of course,
it's going to
be the man, the myth, the legend. Again, offering up his valuable time, Mr. Fred Minnick.
Hey, Fred.
It is so good to be here. You two dressed up, and that I basically dressed up for going to McDonald's. But I'm in
how the turntables.
I'm mourning right now. My Cowboys. We lost yesterday to Wisconsin, and we just lost some more people to the transfer portal. Lost one of our best players to our arch nemesis, the University of Oklahoma. So my heart's broken. I had to wear something for my Cowboys for something good. I'm so excited about this. I need this, Jason. I need this. It's been a minute since I've tasted 100 something whiskeys. So
yeah, we have to get into that a little bit because I watched that go down and that is insane. I don't even know. We'll get into that a little bit.
Well, I've got a present. I got a surprise for you too, Jason.
You have a surprise for me?
I have a surprise for you. As you may recall, and Matt, I know you know this well, on a previous YouTube episode, I told you to go fuck yourself in your train or something like that. And I kind of let it be known that I don't really care that much for trains, especially toy trains. Well, in the Minnick household, we now have the fine Polar Express that you can see wrapped around our tree. And my wife took it down. I was just going to bring one cart, but I ran to the house and it was already in the closet at home. So I brought the whole damn thing just to show you, Jason, that people can change. People can change.
So now I could say F yo train. Is that how it goes?
You can do that. It's my son's train, so you'd be
oh, I don't want to say F yo train to your son. Jesus. That's just mean. So I do want to call out some of the super chats. So any super chats tonight, I will put towards St. Jude as well. But really, what I would like you guys to do is in the top of the chat, I pinned the link for the GoFundMe. So please donate there. All that money goes directly to the charity once it's closed. But any super chats I get tonight, if you guys feel like just throwing one of those in, I will still donate to St. Jude tonight as well. So cheers to all the super chats coming in. Now, before we get started, guys, here, I do want to bring in a good friend of the show, Durell Stewart. What's going on, Durell?
What's up, guys? I threw on a jacket to, fit the attire.
I've let you all so down. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Fred. We didn't tell you about the dress code.
I know, but you normally assume I'm dressed up.
Yeah. Well, I assume the mascot would be available.
Like
hell. Yeah. So I do want to thank Durell for those of you guys that don't know Durell Stewart. He is he helped us out last year. He's a big donator. A lot of the bottles that you see in that list in the description of the video came from Durell. Most of them from Durell, also myself, and obviously a bunch of donations from the Whiskey Tube community. So Durell, I just want to say thanks for doing that. It's always fun collaborating with you on this each year, and we'll see how it goes. How you feeling?
I am feeling great, man. Like, I was talking to these guys in our stream prior, and I think last year we had a few thousand before the stream. Then when the stream came on, it like blew up, which was nuts. And to be at over 8,000 at the start of this stream is just mind blowing. Like it's great, man. Like I chatted earlier, I had a lot of people that I know personally, get affected by cancer, and it's near and dear to me. especially with kids too, man. It's just that much worse, seeing that.
Especially with children. I know a couple folks that that have been affected, especially children from cancer. So I think that's why anything military or anything St. Jude's, children's cancer, anything that I could, that as a community that I can do, that we can all do together to help raise some money, that's the best way to do it. So. Durell, why don't you kind of rattle off a few bottles that you have in the giveaway tonight?
Oh, jeez, God, I got them scattered everywhere. But there's a couple Weller Foolproof store picks. There's a Weller 107 store pick, Blanton store picks. There's some McKenna's. God, there's a couple. I got a couple 5-packs from my collection. So you guys shoot me an email. I'll shoot you a list of everything I got. You get to choose, 5 bottles. It doesn't matter what bottle, any bottle that you want. That's listed on there. You can choose. I know Alex Brrrrye won, I think last year. I sent him my list, and he's like, "What the heck?" So it's like picking and choosing. But that's a good one to win. That's a good one to win. But dude, there's so much. I can't even I made a list. They're scattered everywhere, Jason. I know there's a master list somewhere on here. There's a ton of
again, bottles. I do appreciate it, and in the spirit of things, I do want to show you guys this. We have already hit our goal of $10,000. We are at $10,711, and the night is just getting started. So, holy shit! Thank you guys so much. This is incredible. Hopefully, we can keep it rolling tonight. Again, you don't have to donate a lot. Every little bit helps. But whatever you guys want to donate to help these kids at St. Jude. To fight cancer would be amazing. So, cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers, and thank you all, man. Fred, Matt, thank you guys for judging this. This is going to make it interesting. Just literally, everybody out there that's donated, who will donate, man, we appreciate every little dollar. It's going to a fantastic cause. I can't really thank you guys enough, man. It's been great. Next year, let's see if we can beat this year. Let's keep it going.
All right, Durell, appreciate you. And again, if none of you guys know, Durell also has his own channel with some other folks, Kelsey Dime and Jeffrey Wack here on the YouTubes called Hello Again Whiskey Friends. You guys can check them out, subscribe. And Durell will be checking in with you a little bit later too. So cheers, and I'll see you. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Guys. All right, guys. So I have sent you 4 amazing blends from 4. Well, first of all, before we get into the blends, you guys have anything you're starting off with tonight? I'd
like to start with a question.
Okay, Fred. Okay, Matt, what do you got, bud?
In the thumbnail image, how did you get me to look like Liver King? Because incredible. Was it some sort of Liver King filter that you put on my face?
Liver King? I don't know that reference.
Liver King's a steroid guy.
Oh, he's a steroid guy?
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
He's the influencer steroid guy that was like, oh, clean living is the way I look like this and have all these abs. And they come to find out he was using steroids.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will tell you one thing I did to you, Matt. So I have this pre-made filter that I made in Photoshop that gives everyone like this vintage antique look to it, and a little bit more rugged. So I threw that on your face, and then I actually made your eyes a little bit more blue.
I was just one filter away from this guy. Who knew?
I love your baby blues, Matt.
Yeah, love you. Love the baby blues,
Fred.
Fred, in the spirit of trains, what the I don't know if you there was another very high profile competition on WhiskeyTube called Matt Madness. You know about that one?
Oh yeah.
So Matt puts this together each and every year. I'm terrible at it. I go out in the first round every year because I fucking suck. But other than that, we have the whiskeychannel.com. David and Kira literally this year made some songs for each and every contestant while they were competing. And they were all custom made. They recorded, sang, did all the music on their own. So when I appeared, when it was my turn to go, they made this song. Take a listen.
I recently
got a whole set of these. Jim Beam train set decanter.
Are you going to be mad at me?
No. I mean, you could tell me what you think.
Fuck your train.
I never thought myself a cynic, not even when Fred Minnick grew bored with my refrain. There's a shape, I am thinking a decanter, well worth drinking if I only had a train. Every night when I am dreaming, I imagine it a-steaming on railways across the plain. If I seem real emotive, it's 'cause I like locomotives if I only had a train.
That is epic.
Just a good one. That's a good one.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I
Yeah,
love that.
we had to play that for you. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Oh, I can't believe I haven't heard that yet. That's awesome.
That's on a playlist of mine, and it's the only song on the playlist, and it's just repeated over and over again. Just good.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's catchy. It gets in your head. It just kind of stays. If I only had a train, I mean, all that goodness.
I mean,
amazing.
there's so many jingles, Christmas jingles, and things like that. You can just kind of go with that. But I mean, that's a gift. That's a gift to be able to do that. That's awesome. I gotta. Is it legit on Spotify and iTunes and stuff? Because you can get that stuff on there.
I don't think so, Matt. I think I think the files were just sent by David, but we could send it over to you if you want to add it to your playlist.
Yeah, get that on iTunes. Earn some revenue. Get you a penny per download, a penny per million downloads. You know.
That's right. Yep, that's right. Here we go. Yeah, hashtag pay the turds. I love it.
This Friday, I'm competing against Cameron, who, unfortunately for him and his closest family, but fortunately for me, Cameron has COVID right now, and he's recovering from his taste and smell are about 50%, he said. But I'm competing against Cameron on Friday on their channel. It's a very Merry Matt Madness, and we're gonna reward the turds, by the shelf turds. Dave and Kira, whiskeychannel.com. They're gonna host it, and it's gonna be fun. So.
Dude, I love
the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so yeah, Matt says he sucks at Matt Madness, but he crushed. I won the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society Malt Madness that was put on. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, I don't know. I did much better at that. I have a strategy for Matt Madness next year. We'll see if it works out. But either way, Fred, let's get into a little bit before we dive into the blends here. And guys, keep those funds rolling in, for St. Jude. Let's see, what are we at here? We are at 11,651. Holy shit. Just keep them coming. Is it me or does Matt look like Grimace from McDonald's?
Actually, you know what? I got something for here's a special giveaway. Boom. How about that? Just a solid for you. Suck my mouth.
That looked like it's got a long finish there, Matt.
Yeah, that'll fit in a Glencairn, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. So, Fred, you just did your 100.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lost my mom in cancer 2 months ago. Bless someone fundraiser for St. Jude. That's what this world is about. Thanks, Chuck D. You just did your top 100. Dude, I watched. I know a lot of people that literally put it on and were like doing live reactions from your scoring and I did it on my Patreon channel. We were all just hanging out and just like going through the reactions and seeing what you were tasting. Like, dude, after like 3 flights, how are you tasting anything? Because my question is because there's such a different amount of whiskeys. I mean, you have rye finishes. You had a Speyside finish in there. You had some double oaked. You had, I mean, everything from budget to BTAC. I mean, Jesus. Yeah.
I think a good way to put that is, first of all, both of you all are judges on my spirits competition. So, and thank you. You guys were great. And, we got that coming back up here soon. But like, I've been doing this for a long time and I just know how to kind of get through it. And I know how to assess them. And I said several times, like, this is a rye. And if it's not a rye, my palate's shot. Or I'd say something like this has a real maltiness to it, and it'd be a single malt, So, and that would be like 90 whiskeys in. So my palate was, pretty sharp, on that first round tasting.
Yep.
I felt like my palate was a little bit more, and keep in mind too, I spit, right? So if you don't spit, you will not have any control of your palate. And I realize people always say, well, you can't really count that because you can't assess the finish. Well, I mean, if you've been doing this for 20 years, you can assess the finish just by feeling the residue on the tongue. And, you don't necessarily feel it in the throat, but you also know the finish. And, if you don't spit,
I spit out a Big Mac, I know it was a Big Mac. Just saying.
What, Matt?
I said if I spit out a Big Mac with a blindfold on, I'd know what that is.
Exactly.
And I could score it.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah, I know I know the special sauce finish I'm going to get on the back of that.
By the way, that
Mhm.
visual was a whole. What was that guy that would eat anything on YouTube for a long time? Like he would eat like stuff out of the garbage. I just had that visual of that guy. Like he was like one of the first like famous YouTubers, and he was like eating like leftover dental hygienist cotton swabs and shit. But anyway, so
Matt's like check video idea.
But this but it's like it's really a matter of like I've been doing it for a long time and I know how to get through it. But that's what it's like. I mean, that was a single day, and that'd be like a single day in San Francisco, San Francisco World Spirits Competition where there's thousands. The difference for how I'm doing it is there's a lot of work that goes into pouring it, as you know, and cleaning. It was just I had everything poured for me in advance, but I still had to clean my own glasses and everything. So that's the part where to me it gets a little bit more taxing. Especially after you've had about 125, because it still seeps in through the cheeks.
So, quick question: how did the top 100? I mean, 100 is not a little bit of whiskey. Out of all the whiskeys you tried throughout the year, how did the top 100 even get selected?
So, what I would do is I would go through. I basically go through a combination of like what excites me, and what did I like. But I would say I get really excited when I find like a new category that hasn't been tapped into before. And this year I had 2 rice whiskeys made in Louisiana on the list, and they actually did pretty well. And I had a lot of like non-Kentucky bourbons in the competition, and those really excited me. And things like the Knob Creek 18 year, which and a lot of people love that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one. I didn't like any of the Pappy this year.
Well, generally, from when we talked about, you're not generally a big fan of, a good amount of oak.
Right. And I'm always candid about that, and
Yeah.
I'm always candid about what I like and what I don't like. And I would have what I would refer to as an Ed Foote palate. Ed was the last master distiller of Stitzel Weller. And, we used to have a lot of conversations, early in my career about whiskey. And I have a lot of influence on me from the people who made whiskey in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, between Ed Foote and Parker Beam, and even Chris Morris to an extent from Woodford Reserve on the more modern sense. Those are all people, who I kind of like trained my palate with, and they were very anti-oak. Jimmy Russell is famous for blocking Wild Turkey for ever having anything past 12 years old. So that's that's kind of like my pedigree is like I have never liked oak, but I am not saying that I don't like it as an accent. I don't like it as a note. I don't want to feel like I'm licking a tree, And to me, that's like what Pappy 23 presented. I thought this year's Russell's Reserve 13 year was. I don't know if they had a cork issue or what, but that felt very off to me in comparison to last year.
Mhm.
And what's another one that a lot of people were calling out? The Heaven Hill. So the Heaven Hill 17 year, that was one that was kind of like on the bubble for me. But this is kind of like also going to like looking at the list. I'm looking at a highly allocated product, and for a highly allocated product to get on that list, it has to overwhelm me and excite me, which the majority of those allocated products, actually all the allocated products did that made the list. And, but the Heaven Hill 17 year didn't excite me as much as the Old Fitzgerald Bottle and Bond products did, or
Yeah.
or the Larceny barrel proofs, or the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, so that's why that one didn't make it. I also did not consider single barrels. We got into at San Francisco, I was a part of the committee that basically decided to take single barrels out of like the best whiskey tasting. And that was after Henry McKenna won. And it was kind of like, I don't own that competition, so I don't make the rules or anything like that, but I can have a say and make some nominations for changing rules. Whereas like I actually do own a competition where I can, change the rules. And I just don't think that a single barrel should go forth and compete against batches, because anybody can pick a honey barrel, but it's a lot harder to make a honey batch. So that's why I don't consider single barrels. And to San Francisco's credit, they took it out of the consideration, single barrels out of consideration for best whiskey, best bourbon, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I know for my end of the year, I just take usually my top 20, like the ones that impress me the most throughout the year. I'll throw them in a blind, taste through them, and see what happens. I was disappointed more often this year than I would have liked. But for the most part, there were still some great bourbons. I mean, you mentioned the Larceny Barrel Proof C922, which I reviewed literally last week. I got that bottle late, and it's absolutely delicious. Definitely see that making it in. I'm not going to have the B-Tax or any of the old Fitzes in there because I just didn't get a chance to taste them. Right. But there are a good amount of bottles out there that even some budget ones that I think impressed. Yeah. Maddie, what are your thoughts on it? You kind of attempted Fred's style of doing some bottles, didn't you?
Oh, I tried this past week. I tried 42, and after I narrowed it down, I was going to try to retaste the top 10, and I was literally nauseous, and I hadn't swallowed anything. So incredible, Fred. I was like, that was the most nauseous I've been from having like tasting stuff without any of it entering my system. I was like, good grief. I didn't want to look at whiskey for a few days.
I think the hardest part for me is talking, and that's why this time around, I let my notebook kind of do the talking. And that's where like you can get, as you're talking stuff, Matt, you said you didn't swallow, but as you're talking, it gets in there, curls down in there a little bit. So you just get a little drop every now and then. So you probably did consume more than you realize.
Well, actually, I did. I wanted to know that, so I had the little pocket breath meter with me, and I wanted to see afterwards. And she was clean after 40, but I could see. I mean, at some points, I forgot that I was spitting things out, and I had to search for my spit cup. I was like, oh boy. But I did want to mention the thing with the Ascot Awards, though. We did it last year for single barrels. There is a category for group picks and single barrels in the Ascot Awards. So I believe it was the 5280 Whiskey Club out of Colorado last year got they got the top single.
Yeah, it was that really good Russell's pick.
Yeah. So that was money.
Just because it's a single barrel doesn't mean it can't win awards or prizes.
Yeah, the people still have it can win best single barrel, I mean that's out there, absolutely. I just think, what happens is there's so many skews. There's so much confusion, and the people watching this. I mean, this is a highly educated crowd, but when somebody walks into Benny's in Chicago, they don't have your education. They're walking in there. They see. They don't know the difference between a single barrel, small batch, and bottle to bond. So
yeah, I still think there's this influx of new drinkers getting into American whiskey and bourbon and whatever it may be, and I think those folks still haven't really been, educated. Now, maybe the drinkers you see 2 years ago that got into it, they've kind of caught up. They've read the articles. They've, done their research. But, it just seems like more and more people are getting into American whiskey and bourbon each and every year. This new influx of folks, I still feel like all they know is Buffalo Trace, and that's all they want to look for. They want to look for Weller, Blanton's, Pappy, Eagle Rare. That's kind of all they know in the beginning, before, because honestly, I mean, like you said, Fred, you walk into a huge store like Benny's or even a Total Wine, you look at the shelves and shelves of whiskey, you don't know what's good. So you only know what you've been kind of hearing about, and that's usually Buffalo Trace. So it's an interesting shift in how we're seeing. I love that so many people are getting into whiskey, but the more people that get in, it just feels like the less education, the more education is needed.
Well, I've seen that. I've just seen it kind of come and go, and now once people get educated, now they're good enough to have a conversation. They know the distilleries, and then they learn about. Wait, what do you mean barrel isn't a small batch? It's actually a blend of straights. So then it goes to a whole nother level. I feel like if you want to learn about whiskey, there's so many avenues to learn.
Yep.
But most people, and Marvin Shankin, the founder of Wine Spectator and whiskey, owns Whiskey Advocate. We had a long conversation one time, and he said all people care about is it good. He's like, that's what 90% of the people care about. He's like, most people don't care about your little history stuff. It's want to know if it's good. So I'm like, all right. And, if you take a look at our channels, they want to know if it's good or if it sucks. And that's what leads the views on the Whiskey Tube is the good and it sucks.
Yeah, basically you just have to, first you find, you got to find that nice balance between who you like to watch entertainment wise, and then who your palate lines up with. If you can find those two things, then you should have a pretty good guide into gearing you which way you need to go.
And I tell you what, you can't go wrong with either one of you. You're both great. I've loved watching both of you. It's been such a pleasure to see you come into the Ask Out Awards too, and like apply what you've grown into as was fun, and now becoming a profession for you. It excites me a lot because it makes me feel like the future of whiskey is in good hands when it comes to people talking about it and writing about it. So you both very much are awesome.
Appreciate that, man.
Stop it. There's going to be a whiskeychannel.com song that's called "It Made Me Cry." It's gonna...
Gotta love it. All right. On that note, let's get into these blends, guys. It's time. So
it's time, yeah.
It's time. So here we go. I'm gonna take a quick look at the bracket. So here is let's see here. Let me get into. Did I upload that bracket? Maybe I did not. Anyway, we have Oisin Hayes, who had a fantastic blend. Now, the key to these blends, I think, is what's interesting is the fact that these blends have all been sitting around for the last, several months. So they've been changing a little bit. Some have gotten better. Some have gotten not so better. But I feel like the 4 blends that are in the finals tonight are the ones that are that have kind of stood the test of time. And I think when we go back, when we have because some of these blends went early on in the tournament, and then as we made its way through, those blends sat. and then we didn't see them again until week 7 and week 8. That's when Ryan came in, Ryan Cecil came in, and then you also had Nancy Fraley come in and kind of grade those. And those were some of the toughest rounds because you definitely saw some of those blends getting a little bit, more muted as they sat. Some got even better than when we first tasted them. So this final 4, I think, is going to be the true test of who's going to be crowned champion tonight. So
now, Jason, tell me about the process of getting it to these bottles. Do contestants send you a large bottle and then you pack it out to this, or do they send you the 50 mLs?
It was a little bit of a mix of both.
Okay.
I told folks that we were going to have multiple judges this year, so send me whatever blend you make. Make sure you scale it up so we can have some more either at the end or if you move on further in the competition. And that was another kind of a neat trick that I wanted to kind of throw their direction. Like, can you take it? Because anyone could make a really good blend, a few whiskeys here and there and do it that way. But scaling it up and almost getting into a small scale mass producing of your blend and making it stand the test of time, I think was the true challenge this year. And I think a lot of the folks that these top 4 that we have here, between Keith, Oisin, Shelby, and Eric, I think all did an absolutely amazing job with it. So,
and did you have any prerequisites? Like you couldn't have like an allocated bottle in there; it had to be a standard base bottle, or did you have?
So they could use whatever they wanted as long as it was as long as it was qualified as an American whiskey. So they can use bourbon, they can use rye. I think that was pretty much the standard. I know a couple folks used some American whiskey, some American single malts in there as well, but it had to be an American whiskey used in the blend. That was really the only prerequisite. We did not. I wanted folks to be able to stay creative and use whatever they wanted. Because I think when you have more of a selection of bottles, it becomes a little bit more difficult to build a blend rather than keeping it to just shelfers. So I think what we're left with here is 4 fantastic blends. These have all been poured blind. They were poured blind a week and a half ago. So I've had these sitting in my sample bottles. They were sent out to you guys with stickers. I do not know the order of these. So it's A, B, C, D. We're just going to taste through them and see what pans out.
Shit, where's my notebook? Yeah, this will work.
So let's see here. I'm going to hit a little bit of music. It will not be the FO Train music.
If you'll trade. If you'll trade tonight.
So real quick, guys, let me get a quick update on the fundraiser. Also I want to mention the fundraiser at the end of the night. To win the bottles, these aren't going, we're not going to sit here and call numbers for 1.5 million bottles. Basically, what Shayla is going to do is she's going to make a full list of everybody that donated. Again, $10. Every $10 you donate, you got 1 entry. So if you donated $20, you got 2 entries and so on and so forth. But she's just going to make a huge list, refresh the list each time, and every person that hits that ends up being number 1 on that list will win the bottle. And we're just going to go straight down the list, everything that she finds, all the way down to the end. It's not an auction for certain bottles. It's complete luck of the draw. But every bottle in this list is pretty damn fantastic. So I do want to thank Shayla again for helping out. And I'm definitely going to send her a nice bottle of something for helping and all her hard work. So we have 600 people, 610 in the chat. Thanks for everybody watching, tuning in tonight. Again, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in to Blendageddon the Finals. Fred and Matt are ready to go. Make sure you hit that like button. And you guys ready? Let's do this shit.
Let's rock and roll.
Good luck to all the blenders. Let's just say that. All right. So I want to make sure that's letter A. All right, letter A. Let me get into and if you guys have any questions in the chat, so if you donate through the super chat, your donation, I'm not sure if she is taking the names in the super chat as well. I don't know, but any money, I'll tell you, any money that goes in the super chat tonight, I will throw into the pot as well to go to St. Jude. So, yep. Where's Jim Murray? He's gone.
Wait, have you had Jim on before?
No. Have you ever met Jim Murray?
Well, there's some stories are meant for an in-person whiskey there, Jason.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that. All right, yeah, feel free to take notes, guys. Keep track of what you're tasting. We're going to let these, you guys, you each got a full 2 ounces of each sample, so you guys can, really kind of dissect it. Again, the prize pack to win is full of a bunch of stuff, and we'll get into that a little bit later on as far as what everybody wins. So, or what the winner gets, I should say. The top 3, or I should say the other 3 that don't win the championship will also get a little something as well. Real quick before we start, I also do want to mention a really huge milestone for my channel. Hitting 10 million views about 10 days ago. So collectively, all my videos hitting 10 million views 10 days ago. Your videos are getting so much interest in playtime. That's what YouTube tells you. So I want to thank everyone for the support. 10 million views is I never thought when I started it would get that number, but here we are. So having some fine samples with you fine people.
Well deserved, brother. Well deserved.
The whiskey shop. Mash and Drum, have you tried the 20?
Approaching my BMI. Pretty interesting.
Dude, first of all, you are looking svelte. How much weight have you lost, Matt?
Like 90 pounds so far. Roughly 90 pounds.
Wow, dude.
That's awesome.
Yep. DC's in the house. What's up, DC? My boy Porter looking slick. Nice jacket, Jason. Fuck yo, hoodie, Fred. Go Dogs. Yeah, you got this, Shayla. I know it's a lot, but I appreciate your help. So thank you so much. All right. Letter A. What do you
Are we
guys
discussing these as we go?
Yeah, we'll just discuss
we
them as
are?
we go.
Okay. I won't go to B then. Which
Yeah, we'll just
started smelling B, and I was like, "Whoa, hello, hello, B."
Yeah, hello. Yeah, we'll go through some nosing, some tasting, and we'll kind of break these down a little bit. And as we do that, we'll just we'll answer some questions, and we'll just have a little fun. So here we go.
Glass A kind of reminds me of, in a weird way, not necessarily like the exact product, but how Bardstown Bourbon Company does the Fusion series. It's like a mix of young and old. I'm getting like an but then there's like a younger, almost like a grassy funk as well.
Mm.
And
I wasn't getting grassy funk, but I'm definitely getting, there is a funkiness to it, and I don't know if that's the oak or if there's something of a good age in here. I mean, they're all pretty dark. I'll say that from a glass. Yeah.
So in Jones, Oklahoma, once a week, the kitchen lady would make Frito-Lay pie, which was basically a can of chili on top of a bunch of Frito-Lays. Then she threw it in the oven. It would burn the shit out of the corn chips. This has a very distinct burnt corn chip note for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nice vanilla on the nose. I felt like the nose was like out of balance. It was kind of like ethanol-y. It just didn't come off as like what I want to smell. And that's very important when you're looking at blends, because as you were talking about at the top, these whiskeys have had more time together. When you blend something and then you serve it up, you basically have the initial bonding of the whiskeys. When it has a little bit more time to settle, that bonding can like break away, and and some of those notes, some of the wood sugars and so forth can kind of dissipate to the higher alcohol notes. So that one has me concerned when I smell the nose, but when I tasted it, I didn't get the ethanol. I got, this burnt corn chip, which is not a bad thing. And it took me back to some very nice memories in the Jones, Oklahoma cafeteria.
Yep.
1980s.
I also get a little bit of like an abused apple kind of like an apple that fell from a tree, and you like ran it over with your tractor, and then you will go and pick it up and you put it in the bag with the other good apples. It has like the almost like a bruised apple quality to it on the palate as well, like on the finish.
There's something I'm picking up on this on the palate. It's almost like salty. It's almost like taking the moisture out of the palate. It's almost got this salty vibe to it, maybe like a salted caramel type thing going on. I totally get the apple. I could see the corn note you're talking about, Fred, for sure.
Well,
I think Dan says, can you win more than one bottle? Yeah, I mean, if your name comes up twice, that's kind of the benefit of donating, a good amount of money. You get more entries. So if you win more than once, you win more than once. It's all about luck of the draw, guys.
All to a great cause.
Great cause. So keep bringing in those donations, guys. Right now we are up to, looks like 13,540. We have already exceeded last year's total. So cheers to you guys.
Wow.
Let's keep it going. Let's do that. You guys are fucking amazing. So
Awesome.
all right. Yeah, now that's all I get now. I can't get apples out of my head. Friggin' apples, Matt. Friggin' apples.
Freaking apples.
Well, it's gonna, unless these the rest of these three stink, he's not getting my vote.
That's it. You're just all corn chipped, aren't you?
Well, I mean,
Jeez.
what we're talking about, we're all talking about various expressions of something that didn't finish, and really, I bet you anything, this is a process. When this was first blended, is probably amazing, and this is one of the tricks about blending. It's got to sit in a tank for a bit, and it's that simple.
That's what Nancy Fraley brought up 2 weeks ago. She's like, we're getting a lot of questions for her, and how long do you like a blend to sit before you think it's ready? She's like, at least a year. I'm like, a year? Holy shit! So
it's chemistry. It's actual chemistry.
Yeah, she went through all that, and it was absolutely fascinating. I also kind of asked her like her process for, if you go through and you talk about, master distillers, blenders, whatever you want to say, they go through a rick house, they taste some barrels. What makes a barrel of whiskey one that you want to let it sit and not bottle it quite yet? What characteristics does that specific barrel have that make it worth just letting it sit and seeing what happens in another 5-6 years? And I mean, she's like, there's a number of factors. It's all down to the science of it. She's looking for congeners. She's looking for almost like those fats within it to see what's within that whiskey, to see how it's aging, the amount of barrel influence, what it took from the barrel. I mean, it was broken down, and it was completely fascinating to hear her talk about that. All right, Matt, what you want to be, or you're still nose and A?
I just started smelling the B.
All right, let's go to the B, boys. Here we go.
Well, I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh my God, yeah, B is.
I'm just smelling it. I'm like, well, hello, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'll wear an ascot for you, B.
Yeah.
Little bit of the carnival almond, like the navy.
I swear, I'm like in my mind, I'm like fair cotton candy. So we're absolutely tracing on the same notes like that.
It is super candy.
Yeah.
You want to stick around past sunset and catch the fireworks, Fred?
Gosh.
At the fair?
Can we be in the Ferris wheel together?
No.
Only if I could sit between you guys.
Wow.
Can I be the cream in your
Unless I
Oreo?
can bring a torque wrench and check them bolts, because large. I'm a large person. No. No, I've seen too many fair videos since the internet got fair videos. No, absolutely not.
Oh, at Kentucky Kingdom, a girl lost her foot on the on one of the what do you call them? I can't even fucking think right now. The roller coaster.
Oh, the roller coaster. That's what you could.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with it? I can't think of roller.
What is that ride called? Oh, roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
They shut down and
I like a good
planes
roller
up.
coaster of a whiskey.
Oh my god, I like a good yeah. I want to yeah, Jason, Fred, and Matt on a Ferris wheel. Yeah, DC, get to work on that. I think we can make that happen.
Whiskey tasting in the clouds.
Wow.
It tastes different up there. It really does. So winners will be notified. I'm not going to run through the full list tonight, but maybe we will call out the names, maybe just in case people are watching. Maybe we will do that with Shayla. I'll just have her do all the names once we close it out, and then we'll go forward and do some names. I will post all the winners again here on YouTube in the community tab once we're done, maybe on Instagram as well, so you guys can see who won the bottle, see if your name is there, and then you guys can email me and we'll get those bottles out to you, depending on who has the who donated the bottle. So Mamuka 1977, please donate. Children are our future. This is a great charity. It's a great hospital who saves so many children. Let's make history, donate a ton of money, and save our children. Love that. Yeah. Keep the Ferris wheels in the clouds for sure.
I wanted to say too. I've talked a lot about this, and this has been a rough week for us because this is our first. It's our first Christmas without Jacqueline's dad, who passed away in June.
Yeah.
And St. Jude, I mean, he was a radiologist, and St. Jude was his charity. Like, that was what he donated everything to. And like in his obituary, it said, "Don't send flowers, donate to St. Jude." So this charity means a lot to my family. So, anything that you all can do here tonight is going to be, really well thought out. And as a parent, I'm telling you, nothing, puts fear in me more than anything than one of my kids getting sick. So, St. Jude is there for people.
Yeah, we are over the $14,000 threshold right now.
Awesome.
So it just keeps going up, guys. Thank you so much. We have Bev Porter. She's keeping us updated. Thank you so much.
I thought she super chatted that. I was like, Mom, terrible idea.
That's right. Mama Porter's ready. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so on the palate, this has a little bit, I'm getting a little bit of a dusty note on this one too, but it's much more rich. It's much more, I'm getting some black cherry on the palate, and I'm here for it. Like that Luxardo syrup cherry,
I have syrup as one of my prominent notes: cotton candy, honey, almonds.
Yep.
And if you combine honey and almonds, you might just get marzipan. I get like a fig Newton in this, and then like granola. But to me, the way that this is so balanced and complete, it just says a lot about the whiskey used here. It's high viscosity. Love it.
Yeah, it's got the viscosity. It's got the heft to it. I like to say it with our heft. It feels like it just sits on your palate. And then, it's got sweet, it's got spice, it's got a nice finish that keeps going. I like to call it flag on the play. It kind of gives you a late hit, like we think it's done. The finish comes back and just kind of hits you in the back of the palate. Love that about this one.
A lot of times when I try to put together blends, which I'm a double champion, no big deal, double champ. First ever and only Blendageddon double champ, by the way. Double champ in history. I can keep going. But anyway, when a lot of times when I start to put something together, I notice that it's like a weird, it's almost like an 88 Toyota Tercel, like 5-speed. It's just like, it starts going and then it misses second gear. And then you finally get it in gear, but it's like, it just doesn't, it's not cohesive like this one is. It's like, as it transitions to like the back of the palate, it's like, it just, something is sharp or bitter, or like it just doesn't work quite right. Whereas this blend is like a brand new, like one of those new transmissions that I can't afford those. It's just like there's 30 gears and it's perfectly smooth and you don't even know it's shifting. Back to the finish, it's great. And if that didn't make sense, congratulations. It didn't make sense to me either.
No, that made a lot of sense. So basically, it's like a Toyota Tercel with like a Hemi in it. I hear you.
And you got the
That's
good
not what I
CD
said at
changer
all.
in the back.
Not what you said at all. Exactly. Man. God, I can't get off B. That thing is delicious.
Well, we got 2 more, Jason. We can't just call it. Although
I know we're not going to call it. We got 2 more to do.
in our heart, we may want to.
Yeah. So, the Legend of Slippin' Jimmy, Mr. Matt Porter. All right. Letter C.
Ooh.
Might be the oakiest out of the 3 so far. Man. Any of you guys picking up a weeder note in this?
I'm picking up something maybe Texasy or something like small barrely, something. I mean, maybe not though. I think the color's not that dark. It's that something.
Well, I know that
a weird something.
I know this has like an earthy, dried leaves factor to it for me, and you know, that
there's like a wheat bread grain thing going on to me in this.
this is if
It's a
I'm in
bird's
the
nest.
if I'm in the mood to get you know, I think a little earthy. You know, I want to get grungy. I'm drinking C. You know, this could be a good campfire whiskey.
Yeah.
Whereas B, I want to be in my home, you know, within a conversation with somebody. C, I can see myself out in the wilderness campfire. I got my 30-30 right next to me, about to go to bed, and just hoping a bear doesn't come up and eat my leg. You know, that kind of night.
I know. I took another sip of C, and I feel like it got a little bit sweeter. I keep going back to it. It's not as, I think it's as earthy as it was on my first sip.
See what he's doing, Matt? He's trying to talk up C. He's talking up C now.
A little bit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, as the Rock would
It doesn't
say.
matter what you talk.
That's, as Fred would say, unless the rest of them turn out to suck, which turns out they don't, C's not getting my vote. As Christina Aguilera would say.
By the way, an underrated singer.
Christina Aguilera?
Yeah.
Come on.
I know she's gotten some love, but I just feel like she's like one of the few musicians, you know, that could play at any point in history. She's got an opera level voice and not just a poppy, you know, music auto-tunes voice.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but she does a lot of the, you know, a lot of that shit.
It's a falsetto, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's the whole opera part.
That's not even the falsetto. The falsetto is what Mariah Carey tries to still do, and she can't hit that shit no more.
You know,
I don't know anything about music. So
I
sorry.
cannot wait for the Whitney Houston biopic because she was awesome. Whitney was awesome.
Oh, Whitney Houston? Yeah, she was amazing.
You know who had the most range of our lifetime? Axl Rose. Axl Rose could hit every level. Too bad
he said rage.
I think
range.
One of my favorite singers of all time is Steve Perry.
Oh yeah.
That guy could hit any note. Like there's like notes and there's Steve Perry notes. Like that guy was ridiculous.
Yep. Oh, Sherry.
Milli Vanilli hit him pretty hard.
Milli Vanilli, great voices, especially on those dub tracks.
It's a joke. It's a good joke.
All right.
To D.
The D.
The D double D.
Ooh. All right, a little bit
You know
sweeter
one
here.
of my favorite things ever to watch is I go back and watch Fred sending Ludacris Michter's celebration every once in a while. I have to.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like One of my favorite things. He's eating chili and drinking out of the bottle. That's so good. Oh.
Yeah, it gets more. I've went back to watch it a couple times, and I see a few more things, and I'm like, he's really eating chili, and he's really drinking it straight out of the bottle.
Yeah,
It's
great.
Actually, your interview with Cole Hauser was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he
was. He's pretty cool, dude. He's a lot like his character. Like,
is he?
Yeah, I met his whole family and everything, but I swear to God, like I felt like the women were trying to get up on him and grope him. I mean, I was like, he had security and stuff around him, but I was like, man, am I gonna have to step in here and pull a woman off this guy? You know, it was insane. Yeah. And the thing is like, you know, on the handsome scale, he's, you know, I feel like I could go toe to toe with him. But like Ian Somerhalder, you get next to that guy, you're like, you ain't got a shot in dark with that next to him.
I don't know, because like, you know, like Cole Hauser, you know, great actor, probably not known, you know, not like a household name until Yellowstone. But I think, you know, some ladies will kind of they'll put him in that, they see him in person and all they see is his character.
Yeah.
So, and that's what they're attracted to. All they see is Rip, and they're like, okay, I want to rip into that. Let's do this.
I think that's a good way to put it. They very much like to rip into that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a fun person to be around. We're doing some more stuff together. I haven't announced it yet, but I got a celebrity dinner series that I'm going to be doing in Nashville.
All right, you ready, Fred? Everybody wants biggest asshole you ever interviewed.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's
in my entire career, it was Reuben Hurricane Carter. When I was in college, you know, he's the guy that falsely went to prison and had the movie made about him, and Bob Dylan wrote the song "The Hurricane" about him. And I interviewed him in college, and he was I was also very green as a reporter, but you know, he made me feel very unsafe. Like, you know, and this guy is also a former champ. And I'm like, this guy's about to knock me the fuck out for asking that question he didn't like. So, but
what about like the last like 5 years, like any celebs that just didn't, I'm not going to say an asshole, but maybe just rubbed you the wrong way?
John Oates from Hall & Oates.
Oh, from Hall. So that's very interesting. So in my job, I do some hiring for some acts for like big events, and Hall & Oates, and it's Daryl Hall and it's John Oates. Both of them are on like, it's basically like a no-fly zone list. Like, don't hire these assholes. You will regret it. They are terrible to work with. They are not nice people. Just don't even do it.
My experience with Daryl Hall is amazing. Like, he's a big Bourbon fan, and you know, his only concern is like, you know, he's like, Fred, why'd you send me everything cash strength? You know, I got to sing tomorrow. You know, that's his own and
maybe that's the difference. You just got to get him bourboned up, and he's fine.
Well, Daryl's great. You know, John is sober, and you know, I think just my mere name was just, I don't. He was fine, but afterward, like, his people were not. Put it that way.
I gotta say this, major props, Fred. I mean, he just literally asked you a question out of the dark, like out of the blue. So Fred answered it. So I think it's only fair for Jason to have to answer something. Jason, most overrated whiskey tuber. Go now, say it.
Oh wow,
overrated whiskey tuber.
Hey, it's only fair.
Jeez, Matt, you trying to start a war over here?
I know, man. You're just trying to get me in trouble now?
No, I was half kidding, because that was a hard question to answer. But Fred answered it twice.
I don't know if I could say anyone's overrated because everyone's so different and everyone has their own niche. I don't know. I mean, you can go by. I can tell you, there's a handful of whiskey tubers or whiskey channels that I know like bought subscriptions. I'm not really too happy with those guys, but
Definitely not me.
you know, I mean, you do what you got to do.
Fred
You do what
doesn't
you
do
got
the buy-in. Fred's bought. Boom, roasted. That's a good joke. That's just how
I find the whole whiskey tube scene to be very 2008 blogger scene for me, and it's very similar. And you know, a lot of people coming on, and there's a lot of talent in here.
Yeah.
And I never really felt like I knew what the hell I was doing, and to me, this is one of the greatest challenges of my career is like how to figure out YouTube, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. Doing the interviewing and the tastings and all that, I can handle, but I'm not a graphics guy. I have to hire someone for that. I'm not a video guy. You know, I mean, I've got my computer plugged into a camera, but I mean, that's a miracle. But for the most part, you know, I also, you know, this is what I do. So it's like when I do a video, it's like it takes away from like an in-person event or writing, which I'm writing a book right now. So, you know, things like that and some of the other things I do. But I love it. And this, I say it all the time, but this my YouTube community, this YouTube whiskey tube world, man, it saved me. It saved me in the pandemic. I mean, I was both depressed because I basically lost my magazine. I lost Bourbon and Beyond. I got furloughed from those two things back to back, and I had nothing but Bourbon Pursuit and my YouTube channel, and so I put all my energy in that. And it saved me. It really.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you saying that last year, and I remember when we did our back-to-back night when we did 2 back-to-back live streams. I was on your channel and you were on mine, and you were having. I remember before you came on, you were having like some. You were having a couple technical difficulties. You're still trying to get your bearings, and you're like, "Do I sound good? What is happening?" And I'm like, "Hey, guess what, Fred? You're a YouTuber now."
Yeah. Well, and what's cool is like my kids' friends, their dads watch me and they'll be like, "Hey, Dad, that's that YouTuber," you know. And so I'm known as a YouTuber, you know, and I think, and I hate it. I mean, I loathe it when I get called an influencer. I hate it because, you know, I mean, I've written 7 books. It's like, you know, I guess I would like to be referred to as an author by those people reaching out to me, but I realize I am really not a writer anymore. I'm not. I'm more of a podcaster. I'm more of a YouTuber. And even as I'm writing this book, it's like, oh, I gotta knock the rust off that old comma there. I put it in the wrong spot. So it's funny. But I love it.
Well, I mean, honestly, you guys, I mean, you know, and this is probably something that like myself and Matt and some other whiskey tubers are just like, you know, still going through. Like, you know, when we give something a high rating of a whiskey or something, like, you know, sometimes you'll get, you know, kind of, you know, criticized for it. Like, oh, great. Now nobody will be able to find this. Thanks you so much. You know, jerk, whatever it may be. But even before you had a YouTube channel, Fred, you were still getting that. You were, I mean, maybe you were a different influencer, but you were still an influencer in the world of whiskey because it just seemed like whatever you said was being sold out, and you know, people were kind of, you know, vilifying you for it, and you know.
It all started with Weller 12-year-old in I think 2009 when I was at tasting panel.
Yep.
And that's a bartender magazine, and I named it like my whiskey of the year. Then that was kind of when it began. But you know, believe me, after the top 100, I had distillers like writing me, complaining.
Yep.
I had somebody write me, tell me all my barrel picks suck, and how could I not have such and such in there. I mean, I stuff like that all the time.
I can only imagine. I mean,
but on the other side, I get a lot of thanks. I'm also very open about my personal struggles with life, and like how I was close to jumping off a bridge when I came home from Iraq, and I found bourbon professionally and that was a big part of my recovery from Iraq was finding my palate and tasting, not drinking. And I've had a lot of really incredible letters from people talking about how they've gotten into therapy after so many years of being in war, removed from war. And so that's what I go to more. But I will say it's I think Taylor Swift said it's good to have haters. It's not a bad thing if either one of you all are getting that from time to time. Just know they're watching you and they care about what you say. They don't really hate you. Just piss them off a little bit. It's kind of like, it's kind of like your quarterback throwing a pick. You don't hate him, but God, you fucking cuss them out on the TV.
Yeah, I don't mind pissing people off every now and again. I mean, my viewers love when I do rants. So when I rant off of something, it is what it is. I mean, when you transition from whiskey to whiskey tube, it was fun to watch that evolution. And I know Matt and I we've talked a lot about some of the different like we've been brought up in chat rooms and stuff like that with people saying some shit, and it's like it only means one thing: we're living rent.
I don't read that stuff, Jason. I don't.
I know. Matt was pissed because I brought it up, and he doesn't read that.
You talk about it. Jason's like, oh, on Reddit they said that I suck, and that sucks. But they also said that Matt. Leave me out of it.
Well, no, that one comment had me and you bundled in there, and I was like, this is bullshit. So I was just coming to the defense. That's all. It just pissed me off.
Well, if you all ever find yourself in there and you need someone to call with a little bit of experience with some social media hate, you got my number. So anytime. And my wife is a professional therapist, so we can tag team it. So.
All right, so let me go back to the question. Overrated. I don't know if this channel's overrated.
I was kidding.
No, but honestly, it's a channel that I've kind of stopped watching, and people brought it up in the chat. I think
you don't have to do this. This is something you don't have to do. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there.
I won't say it.
All right.
I won't say it.
That's good of you.
Yeah, now I'm going to get a call from Hall & Oates' PR people tomorrow, and Jason gets off scot-free. I love it.
Listen, I'm just saying that the people that I work with have said that they are tough to work with. That's all I'm saying. But Daryl Hall, I mean, Hall & Oates is one of my favorite bands of all time. So
they're my favorite. Yeah,
I hope that's not the case. That's all I'm saying.
No, they're great. And to be honest with you, it kind of, I should have never had a sober. I no longer have sober guests.
Yeah.
If someone could come on my show, and I'll drink coffee with them. But if I find out they're sober, I won't have them on, and because I don't ever want to hurt someone's sobriety.
Yeah.
And I fear that. I actually, of all the things that I have influence over, the word influence, one of my greatest fears is that someone watches my video and they or read one of my reviews or a book or something, and they break their sobriety. That's one of my greatest concerns of my career.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. All right, back to the whiskey, guys. Let's go to the letter D here. We didn't really break this down quite yet.
I think D is really, really good. I think the D and B are going to be competitors.
You're really right about that, Matt. And they're very different. I get this like layered cinnamon bread. Like we just got this cinnamon bread from Costco that kind of like had the crunchy top, and that's what this reminds me of.
The cinnamon part of that, I totally agree with. I'm almost even getting like the icing that's on like top of like a Pillsbury cinnamon roll. like that icing that's in a little plastic jar you put on top of it. I think that sweetness is there. The cinnamon is there. There's a breadiness to it. There's a sweetness to it. There's a spice. This has a really nice balance. And I agree. I think when you taste through these four, A and C, there's something a little bit missing with those two, whereas B and D are coming through as the most. They're providing the best experience from front to back.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. A and C are a bit disjointed, where B and D are more cohesive. They're just well-rounded. There's nothing that's sharp, jagged, or like.
Yeah, and I would be curious to
off-putting
know. I'd be curious to know of the blend time, how long they've been blended. That might be a nice little piece of criteria to add next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll ask the folks in the chat, because I know everyone that has a blend in this mix tonight is watching. So
yeah, I would love to know, but also like when you like the sample to that, because like even if you got a 750 and you sampled it out, it could be some changing up a little bit of it, from when it was sent to you. But I feel like A especially just got separated in the bottle. C, I can't get over how much I would like to drink it next to a campfire, or when I'm fishing.
Would you want to throw it in the fire or what?
Well, I mean, that happens sometimes. It depends on if it's a, if shit's getting crazy,
Let's do
I'll never forget. I was on a call. We FaceTime with some of my old Army buddies, and I had it wasn't anything crazy. It was bullet cash strength. That's what I was sipping on. I was like, yeah, I don't want this anymore, and I threw it in the fire. And one of my buddies was like, man, I wish I could fucking throw bourbon in the fire like you. So, he's like, fuck you, Fred. I get as much shit from my friends and my wife as I do anybody, but I'll never forget that. But yeah, I do throw my whiskey in the fire from time to time.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Do it.
Why not?
Anybody can do it.
But I put C over A.
Shelby Strunk already, and he has one of these blends in the mix.
Okay.
Don't know which letter it is, obviously, but he said 3 weeks before the competition started, his blend was finalized. But Shelby, how long did it sit in the bottle as a blend? That's what we're curious to know. All right, so one ongoing theme that we've had during Blendageddon, which has kind of evolved out of nowhere, I'm not really sure what happened, was how folks like their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And we've gotten everything from toasted bread, not toasted bread, just white bread, wheat bread, creamy peanut butter versus crunchy, the types of jam, the type of jelly, everything. So it got to a point when Nancy Fraley literally sent me a photo of how she makes her peanut butter and jelly. And here it is. Look, this is Nancy Fraley's peanut butter and jelly. This fancy ass spread she uses.
That's a flex right there.
Yeah. She goes Jif crunchy peanut butter, and then she does these raspberry. She likes the preserves. She likes to she's a texture person. That's kind of like how I like my peanut butter and jelly. I'm a jam guy, not so much preserves, but I do like crunchy peanut butter, and I like my bread to be a little bit toasted. All right. First one up, Matt, ADHD Whiskey. The world wants to know, how do you take your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Can we go back to the Nancy Fraley picture, please?
No, this is like I'm enamored with this picture.
The Christmas tree could definitely the Christmas tree could use a little manscaped.com or whatever. It's kind of like
It could use a little. That's what I want to know. It could use a little professionalism for sure. Yeah.
But she's got a still there. Take a look at that still. You could make a shot of whiskey on that right there.
Yeah, look at that little still she had. Everyone noticed that on the top cabinet?
Yeah.
Look at that.
And that's like
unsliced bread.
And that right above it, that's an antique portrait of a horse.
Yep.
Derby.
Yeah, she's got that bread is unsliced, and then she slices it herself. Yeah. She also told me she toasts it a little bit, and then she uses crunchy, and then she uses those raspberry preserves. That's how Nancy makes her peanut butter and jelly.
So I'm going to be totally honest with you. I was thinking about your question for weeks, but I knew this. And honestly, I mean, I make peanut butter and jellies every day. Have I eaten the crust that I've taken off of them? Yeah. It's just kind of like a peanut butter and jelly is a peanut butter and jelly. It's like pizza. Today, I honestly, and I swear to the Lord above, just for you, Jason, I tried to make a bad peanut butter and jelly, and this is what I did. I took a lightly salted rice cake, 35 calories. I smeared sugar-free strawberry preserves on it, 10 calories. And then you know what I did? I sprinkled PB2, which is like dried peanut butter.
Oh yeah, I got a jar of that shit. Yep.
I sprinkled it into the jam and mixed it up. And guess what? Still good. Doesn't matter.
I gotta imagine the crunch from the rice. Was it a crunchy rice? Like a crunchy rice?
It was a crunchy rice cake. It was lightly salted. It was the worst one you could possibly use.
Okay.
And the worst part about it was when I was like, I noticed I was a heavy breather because the PB2 dust kind of like blew off of the jelly. But it's still fine. I mean, I couldn't make a bad one.
All right.
All right. So, let me say hi to some people in the chat here. Yeah, extra crunchy, too much bread, carb nightmare, says Joe Graves. Those preserves are amazing. Triple PB&J, double SJ. I feel like I should be paying to see that.
Oh, this one?
That's
the
right.
Double spin job?
The double. Yep, that's right. The double.
I'm getting good with lefty.
Nancy wins. Fuck your PBJ. Hey, the average drinker's here. How you doing, Darren? Nice to see you as always. I don't know if you've watched that channel, Fred. Definitely need to check the average drinker out. Darren does some great content. Mike Balboa says, Matt and Jason looking great, you guys. Appreciate you. Matt looks like he just eats tofu sandwiches at this point.
No.
Let's see here.
For sure.
Yeah. Dirty banana lover. I don't know what that means. Did she bake that bread herself? That's bougie. It's kind of bougie.
Good bread.
DC says he's not a toasted bread guy on PB&J. That's an amazing sandwich. Let's see here. Proofs in the bottle says, never did this before. It's a little weird. No one is commenting on the comments. No one is commenting on the comments. Guess there's too many, not to interact. I'd love to donate 1,000, but don't know how. St. Jude. Don't know how St. Jude's is a great cause. So yeah, proofs in the bottle. St. Jude's helps kids with cancer. So yeah, it's a great cause, dude. And anything you donate, you'll get into the mix for a possible bottle win, maybe a couple if you're that lucky. But all the proceeds from the GoFundMe go directly to St. Jude's. John Hall's private eyes are watching you, Fred, says Dan. Like, he'll friggin' love Dan and Julie. Peach and strawberry preserves. I can't see. I don't think I've had peach. Whiskey,
Can I say this too? I think that cashew butter and sunflower butter are very underrated. I do like cashew butter and sunflower butter a lot.
Those are great.
I don't know if I've had cashew butter. I can't say I've had sunflower butter.
You haven't? Oh, dude, you need to get sunflower butter. If it doesn't change your life, it'll at least be good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Fred, you're up. What's your ultimate PB&J?
So, I wasn't prepping for this, but
and if you fucking say you put marzipan on it, everyone's gonna blow their head up.
Oh God, no. No. I will say, like I don't want the bread to be too strong. So rye bread is out for me. I do not like rye bread for my PB&J.
I agree. I can't do rye bread on PB&J.
Yeah, rye bread's got to be.
Rye bread is for Reubens, baby.
Yeah, or like a nice pancetta, cut up pancetta in there. So there's a lot of things that rye bread's great with. Usually like salty, savory meats, but not PB&J. I also, while I am a big fan of these breads, that have like the oats on them and the 9 and 12 grains, I'm personally a big fan of those for my sandwiches, but too overpowering. The star of the show is the peanut butter and the jelly. And so for that reason, I like a nice, soft white bread, not the super cheap kind, but like one that is like has like doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it, but maybe it has honey in it. So I either like that or I like a potato bread. If I'm having to choose between a white bread and a soft potato bread, I'm picking the potato bread. For the peanut butter, I am an enormous fan of getting a fresh jar of peanut butter where the oil's right up there at the top. If a jar of peanut butter has been hit pretty hard and those oils are gone, I'm moving on to a new jar. So for me, the experience is really about how fresh is the jar of peanut butter. I do like to get my stuff ground up at a local grocery, but let's be honest, with 2 kids and busy schedule between my wife and I, we're getting the large tubs at Costco. So we get that, and I prefer crunchy, but I'm the only person in the house that does not like crunchy. So you go with what everyone else has, and I do like creamy is fine. My favorite type of jelly to use will be a kind of a marmalade with like little slivers of like the orange or some kind of citrus in there. So it'll be like the skin of the citrus. And so you have a nice soft bread, you have an oily peanut butter, and then you have a marmalade kind of spread through there. Not too much marmalade because you'll spill it all over yourself. But to me, that is heaven for a PB&J.
Wow, dude. So yeah, so you went. So let's break this down. A little bit of a step above Wonder Bread. You like a higher grade white bread,
or a potato bread.
Or potato bread. And if it's up to you, you would go crunchy peanut butter with all the oils on top. You like that oily peanut butter.
Yep.
And then you're using like a chunky orange marmalade.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. You and my mother are the only 2 people in the world that I know that love orange marmalade.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just don't know many orange marmalade lovers, but my mother loves that shit. And now you. So
does your mama like tea?
How?
Does she like tea?
No, she likes Henry McKenna though. She drinks it.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I was gonna say
maybe you guys have similar palates.
We got some. But like the reason why I asked about tea is like in tea houses, orange marmalade is a very common thing to have with your scone. So like a traditional English tea house.
Eric says, what did the chick say when he saw his mom sitting on an orange? Look at that orange marmalade. Okay. That took me a second. Holy shit, are you kidding me, Mama?
Can I say this?
Oh my God, we're up to $16,000, guys. Wow. Thank you so much.
For not anticipating that question, Fred really answered the shit out of that question.
He did. For not knowing what was coming, he did answer the shit out of it.
Wow. There are so many questions I'd love to ask him now. You know what, Fred? Let's go on that.
All right.
What's it called again? The ride on the fair?
Busey says, I love orange marmalade, crunchy peanut butter, but on a twist. Flour tortilla. Oh.
Now, if I didn't feel like every time I had a flour tortilla, my hips grew five inches, I would probably do that more often. But
yeah.
Flour tortilla, nothing makes me feel fatter than eating a fucking flour tortilla. They're amazing.
I don't know. I feel like I gain 2 pounds if I eat like 2 slices of potato bread. I just see I hear potato and I feel like those things go right to the old stomach, right in the stomach area.
You got some. So
what's that?
You got some potassium in the potato.
Some potassium, okay.
There's more potassium in a potato than a banana.
All right, so real quick, back to you, Matt. If you're not trying to make a shitty peanut butter and jelly, what's the one you like to make?
I mean, God, I don't know. Like, shit. You know what?
Is it
let me just
That's
shoot you
true.
straight.
He didn't really answer the question, did he?
No, he just said he tried to make a shitty one. I want to know what he makes for a good one.
I don't. I literally don't. But if someone said, Matt, all you can eat is the best peanut butter and jelly you have, it would be strawberry jam.
Yep.
Like probably a Smucker's natural strawberry jam, like a good I don't like a bunch of sugar. I don't like high fructose corn syrup. Like a good quality, just a natural strawberry jam.
That's my go-to.
Then,
like strawberry or raspberry jam is my go-to. Every now and then, I'll do maybe like blueberry or blackberry.
But
that's
here's
really
the
cool
thing.
because I asked you. I was in the middle of answering your question.
All right, so now go to your choice of peanut butter and bread. Go.
Oh man, a natural peanut butter. I like natural peanut butter. I don't know.
All right,
It's not super sweet.
crunchy or smooth?
No, it's got to be smooth.
Okay, gotta be smooth.
Would I be mad at a crunchy peanut butter? No, I don't care.
Okay.
But a nice smooth natural peanut butter, natural strawberry jelly, and then just a thick ass white bread that sticks to the roof of your mouth, and that'll do it.
So, gentlemen, I will say that the PB&J, as we have described it, is a bit of an endangered species when it comes to children. There are actually pre-made Smuckers PB&Js that you just sit down on the counter for a little bit after they've been in the freezer.
Uncrustables.
Yeah, the Uncrustables. And that, to me, that's what my kids want. They don't want the homemade PB&J. They want what's in a package.
They want the Uncrustables?
Mm-hmm. So we are looking at a kind of save the whales situation. And perhaps this podcast, this YouTube live stream, can be the beginning of saving the traditional homemade PB&J. So everybody watching, tell your friends, make a PB&J at home.
Yeah, make a real PB&J.
No.
Yeah, don't Uncrustable it. Listen, I don't mind a good Uncrustable every now and again, but geez, I gotta say, somebody, I think it was I forgot, is it the person that was asking just dropped $1,000 in the proofs in the bottle. I think
Wow.
just dropped $1,000
Wow.
bucks into the holy shit, dude.
That's
That's
awesome.
incredible.
We are at
Thank you so much.
We are at $16,052. I
Love
mean,
it.
destroying the goal and also last year. So, guys, holy shit! Thank you so much. All right,
Wow.
now that we got the peanut butter and jellies out of the way, let's taste through each one more time. We'll do our eliminations and then see if we can get close to crowning a champion here.
I've been doing that the entire time, just tasting back and forth. This is an incredible
So did any of them change for you guys at all? Are you still on?
Yeah.
Are you still on B&D?
No, C improved its standing for me quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. You said I was trying to sell you on it. I think it's better
Yeah.
than what you're thinking.
Well, it could be your subliminal messaging you have. You know, I mean, Matt. I am always very cautious of having conversations when music is going on at low tunes, because that usually means whoever's playing the music is trying to influence you. So Jason playing this music directly into my headphones makes me feel like he's trying to KGB me into picking his
That's
favorite.
right. You will
I
like
can't
the
hear music
whiskey
at all.
in Glass
Is there
C.
music playing?
Mr. Minnick, you will like this whiskey in number C.
That's
number-
a pretty damn good Russian accent.
Yeah,
Like,
number
that's pretty good.
C. Yes, you love it. Drink it, bastard.
That's jeez. Fred will give anything a good score when he's drunk, especially Jason's Russian accent. Jesus,
That's right.
Just kidding,
That's
Fred.
right, because it's
And
terrible.
That was a
I
pretty
know.
good Russian accent. Not bad.
Not too bad.
But no, C does not do it for me.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that's a little bit
Yeah.
I think like maybe an astringent oak, like a bitter oak or something that's on the back end of it. On the palate,
that's
it's
the coming off of A and then going to C. I totally agree with you, Matt. There's a bitterness to it on the back end of the palate that is, and also I don't know what happened, but the finish has really died off on C as well. I'm not really getting a great finish on it either.
the finish
I'm just
getting
saying
reminds
he's not
me
going to
of
be
a
my
lumber
favorite.
rock.
I'm saying C kind of came around. A still on the bottom for me. A's in a rear facing choke for me right now. I'm not a fan of it.
Okay.
Oh man! And both carotid arteries are now cut off, and Fred killed it.
Jason samples were already poured and opened up. I think Fred poured his fresh at the top of the stream. Yeah, I mean that could have contributed to it a little bit.
What if the whiskey ain't good out of the bottle?
Yep.
I mean, they're not that close. Where
We're not talking about whiskey from 1932. You know.
All right, so you guys. I'm comfortable with eliminating C right now. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, C and A are out for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
So we're gonna eliminate C. We're gonna eliminate A.
Now, this is where I'm interested in what Fred says about B and D, because I think B has a lingering oak note on the finish that I enjoy, but I'm not sure how Fred feels about it. D is sweeter and a little less oak forward, but I don't necessarily dislike that about it. I think that they're both really, really good, but just in different ways.
Well, it's funny, you know, we're pitting two very different whiskeys on the palate. You know, they just come in very differently. B feels quite a bit more soft. And D is just so much cinnamon for me in D. I love that. I love me some. I'm in the mood for cinnamon. I need a little cinnamon. You know,
'Tis the season for cinnamon.
There's a 50 Cent song about cinnamon.
But I hear you with the accent of oak, but it's not over oak for me. It's not astringent.
Yeah, either of these two are coming off super
Yeah.
oaky. I mean, I like a little bit of oak. I mean, I know Matt does, but it's got to be in balance. Obviously, it can't overtake the palate. And I think both of these do that.
B is very dynamic.
Yep.
B is sitting in a chair, reading a good book, having a conversation with someone. And D is a little bit more alone with my thoughts, you know? And I think when you come down to when it comes down to me for like when I'm trying to choose what is my favorite, I like to think about the whiskey. You know, I want something that makes me think versus make me want to drink it. And how the best way I can put that is like, I want to feel it on my palate. I want to break it down for as long as I can. There are moments I'm going to want to drink it. Don't get me wrong. But if a whiskey can make you think and get you to process, what is it made from? Where's the corn? What's the where were the barrels? Where were they stored? You know, who was the distiller? The whiskey can make you do that. Then you've gone into another plane as a taster. And right now, D is doing that for me. B is just good sipping whiskey. But I think there's something special about D.
Every word you just said, I agree. I think I'm just sitting here going back and forth as you're talking. And D for me is on another level. B, it's great. It's good, but I feel like I've had that before. D is something that I want the finish on it, the texture of it, where it takes you, the cinnamon heaviness of it. That is my whiskey right there. That is, and the finish is still going on it.
Yeah.
B I think has some of that, but it's a little bit next to D. It's just a little bit lighter and not as heft. It doesn't have as much heft to it. I think D like just sits on your palate and is there to. That is, like you said, just sit on a big, comfy leather chair with some friends and just sip that slowly all night long.
And you know, I think D2 for the cigar smokers out there. I think D would go really beautiful with
Alec Bradley Kintsugi, probably.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
I was going to go with one of the Drew estates, but I was trying to remember which ones, like if they discontinued it or not. They discontinued.
I want to put this with an Oliva V Milano. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Jared just made a PB&J. Jared, how did you make it? What did you use? You just made one quick?
And you know, anytime I hear about a Jared making a sandwich, I go to the Subway guy. You know, I know Jared.
Oh,
Jared, you're not that guy. Which, by the way, fuck
That's
that
quick.
guy.
Yeah, that guy. Fuck that
okay.
guy. Yeah.
You know, talk about
got
somebody
the
who
quick
was
wits.
in the
That's good.
in the frontal view of us constantly, and then you find out he's pervert of the year over here, and like, and he's like, you don't hear anything about him anymore. I figured there'd be like a CBS reporter in there talking to him. Subway's got to be paying the media off to not, regurgitate that guy.
Yep.
I forgot about Jared.
What happened to that? I mean, he went to jail, didn't he?
I think he went to federal prison.
No, he's in federal
that.
prison. He's getting.
He's got many years in the clink. All right, guys, real quick, I just want to show you this because this is fucking amazing. Check this out. Look at the amount we're up to now.
Holy shitballs!
17,000. Are you guys kidding me? This is. I'm gonna. Let me hold on a second. Let me take that off. There it is. Look at that. I'm gonna I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna start tearing up here. This is insane. Wow. I have no words. You guys, thank you so much to the whiskey community for doing this. This is unbelievable. I cannot even begin to think about the kids we are helping and the whiskey community coming together to do this. This is insane. Thank you so much, guys. Wow.
So I want to say I haven't been able to get in there to do the donating, but because I'm talking, but I'm gonna drop 1,000 in, folks. Let's get this up to 20K. Come on, I'm personally gonna drop 1,000 in. Someone else is in here. Like it's a tax write-off, right, Jason?
Yeah, could write it off. Yep.
There you go. So it's a tax write-off. We get the end of year kind of deal.
Yep.
But everybody just drop in what you can. Let's do this. Let's get it to 20K, and once we get to 20K, let's talk about where we go from there. But let's get to 20K.
Yeah, that's crazy cool. That's
I love that, man. That's awesome that you're gonna do that.
Actually, if you could give me a second, I'll try to do it right now. Hold on. Where's the link?
Yeah, you know what? I might drop 1,000 in myself here.
Let's do it. I gotta find the link. Can someone drop the link in the chat?
It's pinned in the top of the chat. Is it still there?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fancy stuff right there. Okay, donate now. All right. I'm going to commentate my GoFundMe here.
So let everybody listen to Fred click and give money.
All right. So how do I make it? There we go. Yeah, one. So this is the second time I have used GoFundMe.
Yeah.
The other time I used it was for the band member of Moontooth who had like a freak set of seizures and ends up having like a really rare disease, and but that was on another browser, so I can't log into it. So
all right, I'm dropping some money here now.
Yeah,
while we're just here. I definitely want to get up to 20 grand here.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay, let me make sure this is like Matt, I think I have developed some form of like my eyes really suck because those zeros, I'm just making sure that there's three zeros there and not 4. I think I was about to donate. Yep, we're good.
The fourth zero is a game changer.
I mean, I would love to donate 10 grand, but I can't donate 10 grand. Well, apparently I got to re-log in to PayPal. Which, did you see that Elon Musk might be buying PayPal?
Are you serious? Is he?
Yeah, he was like talking about either buying it or creating something to compete with it. I'm like what the fuck did PayPal do to you? You know?
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, you got PayPal, Venmo. I mean, they work fine. I don't see how he's going to change it unless you can like see the money floating through the air somehow. Like, how is he going to make that better? Okay.
Well,
All
maybe
right, we're at $18,062 right now. We are getting closer to that $20,000 goal. Okay.
All right, I had to double verify. And
Shayla, do not include my donation in the thing, just so you know. I'm sure you know that, but just letting you know.
what does that mean?
I don't want to be included in the bottle giveaways because I'm not,
Ah,
yeah.
if I happen to win it, I will give it to someone else, or you could just not include me.
Hey, Fred, you have a bottle you want to donate? What do you got? Anything?
I got lots of shit. All right, did that go through? Yeah, I went through. Woo!
There it is.
All right, that was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work.
So I've I most of the stuff I have is opened. So is it uncouth to donate an open bottle? It's uncouth.
Define uncouth.
Rude.
Yeah, like
rude, improper,
No.
shitty, asshole.
So, like, that's how you define me. Just kidding.
I'm about to drop another 500 here. Hold on a second.
Jesus.
Oh, Danny Lopez of the Passe says
That's
5
right.
elite samples. You got it. I'll donate 5 elite samples.
There you go. 5 elite Fred samples. Now,
But
know
what's elite? What's considered elite?
I don't know, dude. Like maybe your top 5 whiskeys this year. You got enough?
No, I don't have any more.
Oh,
I mean,
all right.
I got some of some. I could do a sample of Michter's 20. That's the only thing I got left in the. Oh, I could do a Michter's 20 and whatever came in fourth, the old Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
So,
and Jack Daniels. So I can do 3. I can do 3 of the 5.
All right. So Shayla will. So Shayla, just add that. That's not going to be on the list in the under in YouTube, but Shayla, just kind of write that in as an extra giveaway as we go through them. All right. So it's already 10:48. Let's
full disclosures here. This is for entertainment purposes. We are here raising money for St. Jude.
That's right.
And there's no actual selling of alcohol in any of this.
That's true.
Nothing.
No
This
selling
is
of any kind.
Purely fiction.
Purely fictional. And guys, we're up to 19,917. Wow.
That's almost 20.
That's almost 20. It's almost there.
That's
If we
good
get
math,
20
Matt.
Where I come
Very good
from,
math.
I will be right back. I'm going to go check on my kiddos really quick just to make sure everything is legit.
Is that
I'll
code
be
word?
right
Do you
back.
got to take a leak?
Look at Matt.
Was that wrong?
I don't know.
No.
I think Matt will take a leak at some point. But all right.
This was pre-recorded Matt. Live Matt will be back in just a second, Fred.
Oh shit! All right, Matt, you go. When you come back, we will crown a champion. I think. We'll get our.
Oh,
votes in.
I just got in trouble by your
1
mom.
minute max.
I really got in trouble by your mom, Matt. My
Fred,
apologies.
he really is checking on the kids. Jesus, freaking Fred!
I know.
Now you get mom all messed
They've
up.
been really, really quiet. That's why.
Well, I will
Yeah,
tell you
plus-
this. Like, I have an office far away from my house, so I don't have to check on mine. But I will hear about it tomorrow. But Jack
Damn
is out.
microphone. Get off of my neck. I'm going to pee my pants. I mean, my kids that need my help.
So about Glass D,
Yeah,
it's really, it's like a spice superhighway, man.
God, it just keeps coming back. It reminds me almost of like a Four Roses LE. It's got the spice. It's got a dark fruit note to it. Oh man, that is good shit. Todd Ritter says we raised over 14 King of Kentuckys. Way to go, everyone.
Which that was a disappointment this year for me. Other than the 18 year, but the 15
So I paid $75 in Kentucky to try the 18 year, which was the really super limited one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it wasn't that much better than the regular.
No,
food.
it was not. It wasn't special. It was just,
No, it wasn't. It was not.
it was okay. It was good, but I mean, it wasn't like great.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Brown Foreman though. I mean, they've put a lot of focus on Jack Daniels stuff coming out of Jack Daniels right now. Man,
dude, you didn't like the twice barreled Oloroso Sherry single malt?
Oh God, I hated that. No, it was. In fact, I'll throw that in the giveaway. Whoever wants this fucking thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, just an incredible. So again, I don't like oak. I'm also like, I'm not a fan of. First of all, I love Scotch. So when an American single malt comes on my palate, and while I don't do a lot of Scotch reviews, my mind goes to Scotland and it goes to that sort of thing. And it's like, that just was like, to me, that was a soccer club in northern Canada trying to play in the Premier League. It wasn't doing it for me.
Well, I mean, Brown Foreman does own Glendronach, so I think they had some good malt roots to kind of call back to. I mean, I could see why folks wouldn't like it, but honestly, for an American single malt from Jack Daniels, it was a surprising whiskey for me. I think as it opened up, it got more jammy, more raspberry jammy, some chocolate in there. But, I mean, I think if you're used to the Scotland-style Scotch, it is vastly different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But the oak, I don't remember what I said, but I knew I said the oak and something else was having a baby, and it didn't do it for me. But also, like, I mean, this was where, and we can talk as YouTubers with like how YouTube is like telling you do this, do this, do this, and they come up with these shorts, and suddenly they're like saying, they're all but saying like, yes, you will not be in our algorithm this week unless you do a short. Thank you for stepping by. But by the way, we don't shadow anyone, that sort of thing. And so I was like, I want to be clever with my shorts. Someone suggested that I do one tasting note reviews or something like that. And so I tried it with that, and holy shit, we're at 21K.
21 fucking K, guys.
What? Yes! Let's do it.
That's right. Ride that fucking choo-choo, baby. Love it. Guys, thank you so much. This is absolutely
awesome.
Insane, dude. Oh my gosh. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And
crazy.
Oh my God. I can't even. It's hard to put into words. That's amazing. Thank you so much, everybody that's watching, everyone that's donated. Really appreciate the support. And I'm sure St. Jude will too. St. Jude Children's Hospital. All right.
This is beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm going back and forth one more time. Man, B is good, but D is just a little bit better.
So I blinded myself.
Yeah.
All it took was 4 seconds of rotating glasses, and I was completely confused. No idea what sounds good. That's the best part about being dumb, is it just switch them around for 1 second and no clue.
I don't know. D just has an extra level of depth of flavor to it that is.
Hey guys, before we get down this road, I have an idea. How about we donate a private tasting with us and whoever is the highest donator for the night. And that way, like, right now I think the highest donator for the night has been 1,000, right?
Yep.
So if someone
or you could do it as a separate auction where just the highest one in chat who decides to donate a certain amount, an extra amount. I would be on board with that.
Yeah. So the three of us we donate a private tasting with them. We send samples, and we just kind of do this. We kind of just do this like we're doing, and I bet you
Absolutely.
anything, we can get to 30,000. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking that?
I don't know.
think we can.
Private taste.
I'm good for about 250.
So, oh man, Keith just came in with $100. There you go, Keith. Thank you so much, man. That'll go right to St. Jude.
Well, hell yeah, I'm on board, Fred. For doing
Do it.
taste.
So you guys are saying collectively, all three of us will do a private tasting with the highest amount.
Or if
I'd
they
love to.
want us individually, I
Okay.
guess that's okay too.
All right. So
I could see that happening.
yeah, we can definitely do that. So let's
That's-
add that.
Matt, that's Jason's way of saying, "Oh, yeah, this is a once a year kind of thing that I just hang out with you two." I'm more of an,
No, I'm not. I kind of wanted to do it together. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, okay
right?
then. All right. I was just fucking with you.
But we can do it separately too. I mean, everyone. We could have. We could definitely do.
No, I would rather do it as all together.
Okay.
That'd be pretty memorable.
All right. So
That'd
we'll add that. We'll
that'd
add
be
that to the list, and all together, highest amount in super chat.
No, do it as an auction. Do it as an auction.
All right, we'll do it as an auction. We'll do that. We'll do
the highest bid. So then whoever says they'll donate the highest amount, and then adds that to the pot. Boom. Let's do that. Wouldn't that be good?
We'll do that. We'll do that as an auction through super chats, and we'll track it.
I can actually be the auctioneer on it. We can do that. Too.
Okay. All right. Well, before we do
would
that,
be the worst auctioneer on the planet. I would say, can I get $4, $13? It'd be real bad. You know who the two worst auctioneers on the planet would be? Me and Dixon Dedman. The two worst auctioneers ever.
I can't talk
As a
fast.
team-
I can't talk fast. Not only would I be talking slow, but I'd be cursing everybody. Like all of a sudden, like the angry Brooklyn will come out. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, like fucking get the thing in. Like, let's do this shit. Like, I'll be terrible.
You do fine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, when you say auction, Matt, do you mean like people drop a number in the chat when we open it up that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say that. I mean, this is just someone saying.
What's the latency on this, Jason? Is it
20 seconds?
Do we have a 20 second lag?
About 20 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So someone. I mean, what I'm saying is that somebody mentioned that the person donating the larger amount should be included, but they did that before this was even a suggestion. So this is a brand new.
Yes, this is brand new. So we're not gonna
old.
We'll do this strictly in super chats as we go along, when we make
super chat, Jason. It could be say somebody says they donate however many dollars in chat, as long as they donate it to St. Jude like right now, then they would be the winner. They don't have to do it in super chat because that takes away the 30% and your.
All right, so we'll need to So let's do this through St. Jude. I think the highest bid is 1,000. We'll definitely include the $1,000 donator in there. But if anyone beats him out, we'll post it in chat, whether it be Whiskey Mountains or Shayla. If you guys are kind of keeping track of things, let us know what's going on in the St. Jude fundraiser, and we'll go for there. So. All right, yeah. So $1,000 is kind of the starting bid, and we'll see if anyone goes up from there. We'll see.
Who give me a $2,000 bill? Give me 2,000. Give me 2,000. Who give me 2,000? Oh. So
all right, guys. While that's happening, let's see here. Do we do any of you guys?
Last was my B&D blind.
Between the two, what do you guys?
I have a winner.
You do have a winner. I have a winner too. Fred, do you have a winner between the two?
Not yet. I've been so focused on this other stuff.
Okay.
The more important item.
All right.
Wow, that's the first time ever. Hey, Fred, I'm done before you. Boom. In your face.
This is a very, very difficult decision for me because I like both of them for different reasons.
Yeah, we'll give you guys 5 minutes. If anyone beats the $1,000 donation, and then at the end of 5 minutes, highest wins. And go.
Mm-hmm. So
right now, proofs in the bottle at $1,000. He's the leader in the clubhouse right now.
when I was judging for World's Top Whiskey Taster alongside Fred and geez Louise, there was wow, Peggy No Stevens was there as Fred and Peggy and Steve.
Dude, how amazing is Peggy No Stevens? Oh my gosh.
She's the best. She's literally the greatest.
Yeah, she's the
She's
greatest.
family. She's my son's godmother. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Fred and Peggy were like talking inside baseball about bourbon and distilleries, and I was like a fly on the wall that was like on ecstasy. I was like watching, like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But then we had to score these blends from the competitors, and Fred was like, "Yeah, I'm finished," and I had 0 notes written down for the first glass. So Nick Lewis from Bardstown Bourbon Company was like, in his English accent, was like, "You can write anything down?" And I was like, I thought you said we have time." And Fred's like, "I was done a while ago."
Oh shit!
I'm fast, but not tonight. Tonight, this was a little bit more difficult for me.
Yeah, both of these are really good. I'm not really sure. I think I'm swaying towards one over the other, but they're both phenomenal.
So I'll be fascinated to learn if B does not have some Dickel in it. I picked up that a particular note that I always taste in Dickel in B. So I will be very curious to see if Dickel.
What do you got? Like that flamed, like orange, like peel? What'd you get in the Dickel?
It's more of a part of the tongue that it hits in.
Okay.
But I would say it's I don't want to influence either one of you.
All right.
No,
I don't want to
done.
influence you.
But I thought that B had a certain nuttiness to it that I could see that being a Dickel nuttiness. Like it's a strange, almost a bitter nut. But I attributed that to maybe an Elijah Craig barrel proof that was blended in with it that just didn't adhere perfectly. That's where I was.
I'm curious if B has like a weeder thing going. I've been saying it from the beginning. I'm wondering if there's like a weeded something in B, because that's what I'm kind of picking up on. There's something that's reminding me of weeded bourbons in that one.
Yeah, I'm fast. I want to find out what B is. I want to find out what B is more than I do what D is. With D, I just want to sip it, and that's my winner.
All right, Matt, where are you at? So, Matt, where are you at between B and D? Yeah, where are you at between B and D?
So, we talked before about these two, and I thought I was going to be in a place where I was by myself, like alone on an island, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think that after tasting them back and forth, I thought D was better, and then I switched the glasses around completely, so I wasn't sure which one was which. I mean, after tasting a while, there are, it's like things get a little bit more similar, a little bit more like familiar, but even after spinning them around and blinding myself a second time, I thought D was the winner. So I think that D is better, but slightly better.
Slightly. I would say slightly, because I think B is right there. I think just D has a little bit more. D has some more elevated flavor to it that I think overtakes B.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was not easy. It was not easy.
Nuttiness to B that is not in D. That maybe it's like we're not like being nice anymore. It's like you've been through how many rounds of Blendageddon where you're tasting blends and trying to be nice. This is the finals. We got to get picky. We got to be kind of like,
you have to be. I mean, even 2 weeks ago with Nancy Fraley, I mean, we were splitting hairs. All those blends were great, and 2 of those blends that made it through are in this blind tonight. So to kind of go from 30 blends to these 2, you do have to split hairs. You got to be a little bit in the weeds. You got to be a little nasty at picking out what doesn't work for you.
So I enjoyed them both, but D doesn't have any qualities that I dislike where B has something in it that makes me go,
I couldn't agree
not
more.
the best way.
Like, to me, I think the beauty of Blendageddon is also trying something unique. B, I feel like I've had before. Even though it's delicious, I feel like I've tasted that profile before a little bit. D, on the other hand, I feel like it's something delicious. It's something a little bit new. It's something viscous. It's got all the things that I look for, especially in a blend. You know, when you blend, Matt, when you slip in Jimmy. So, yep.
You believe that there's any Buffalo Trace in sample D?
Buffalo Trace. Let's see here.
Yeah, I can see that. If you're breaking this, if we're going to go down that road now, where we're trying to break down what's in it, have we declared the winner? Are we going to try to break down what's in it now?
I already said which one my favorite is.
Yeah.
But
So
I just think that
so D is D the winner, Jason, or do we need more?
No, I think for me, I think it looks like it's unanimous. I think D is the winner. I think it's going to go to D. And we're also going to find out what's in all these blends right now.
congratulations, D, world's best cup of coffee. You did it.
World's best coffee. Congratulations.
So I believe that B has some Dickel in it, and I believe D has some MGP in it. That's all I got.
Okay.
All right.
And I can go back to. Let me go to A. Let me try with A and C.
All right. In B,
A is pretty funny because A is very unique in its own way.
Yeah, in B, I'm looking for a weeder. So we'll see. Whiskey Centrals. The last few chats were not able to get put in. Oh, so okay. Oh, they're having an issue there.
Could A be a Brrrrye, a mix of a bourbon and a
like
rye?
A has Wilderness Trail in it. I think A has Wilderness Trail. And C,
I don't know if I'm gonna get that granular, but I do think I want to say that B has a weeder in it, or was it C that I thought had a weeder in it? I don't remember.
C has Jim Beam
you
in
said
it,
that-
like a Beam product. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Did I say C had the weeder in it, Matt?
You said B.
B. Okay.
You thought B had a weeder in it.
No,
All right.
At first he said that C was weeded. Like,
Yeah, but the more I went to
C
B,
or A?
yeah, I don't know. We'll see here. All right, guys. So here's the official envelope of the results. Drum roll. Here we go.
Ooh, C is kind of growing on me though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me bring these up here. So we're gonna go with the first two that were eliminated, which were C and A. So we'll start with letter A. Letter A belongs to Keith Thompson with Sunday Evening Cigar Blend.
Okay.
Okay. So let's find out what was in it.
And what's in it? And what's in
That was
it?
letter A. We're gonna find out what's in it right now.
I said I thought Wilderness Trail might be in it.
All right, let's see what
Ooh,
he's got.
maybe there is some amberana in that. Maybe that's where that cinnamon came from.
All right, so we have E.H. Taylor single barrel 100 proof, which is 2 parts. The second component, Middle West Spirits Pumpernickel Rye Cast Strength Store Pick.
Damn.
Right.
The third component, Rare Breed. Russell's 10-year comes in for the fourth component. And then the Old Forester Old Hockster, which is a pick that I did, came in at 131.1 proof. That was 2 parts in there.
Boy, on paper, that one looks like it's going to win the flight.
Right?
You know.
Shit.
Wow.
It's almost like the what did you say? Where did that rye come from? Did you say Middleton? What was it?
Middle West Spirits. That's actually a local distillery
Middle
here
West
in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's they make a
feel like
really beautiful rye.
Yeah.
That might have taken over the blend. That might have been a standout portion of that kind of like poked through.
Yeah, I think that
Agreed,
pumpernickel
disagree.
rye definitely kind of stood out. And but again, I think the longer it sat, maybe just got a little bit disjointed. But I mean, to make it to the finals out of 30 blends. I mean, a friggin' killer blend there. Okay.
Are the percentages on that at all?
All he wrote was 2 parts each other single barrel, 2 parts Middle West rye cast strength pumpernickel rye, 1 part rare breed, 1 part Russell's 10-year, and then 2 parts of that Old Forester, the barrel proof bourbon.
Man, that's
Is the pumpernickel rye a rye whiskey, or just is that what they use for the rye in their bourbon?
Yeah, they use a pumpernickel rye to make it. So it's a really unique rye whiskey. People seem to either love it or hate it.
Okay.
I happen to love it because it's different.
So it was a Brrrrye then. It was a rye bourbon blend.
It was a Brrrrye blend.
It was all, yep.
All right, let's go to the next one that was eliminated, which is letter
C.
Letter C belongs to, and this hurts my heart because I love this dude. It is OH.
I think he's a jerk.
It is OH Oisin Hayes. With letter C, his blend is named My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard. So here it comes. Let's see what's in his blend. Any guesses from your tasting notes?
My only guess was Beam, was a Beam product in there.
A Beam product.
Yeah, because
let me go back to see here. I did not read this yet. I know you guys said you got some of like a Texas funk on it.
At first, not anymore. But
not anymore.
I mean, like that was my first impression, was something small barreled or like
the only thing I could gather from it is I think there's some Heaven Hill stuff in there. That's the only thing I can
see that.
Maybe think of. That's what's in there. So, all right. Here's the blend. My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard. This is the first ever ? He said malted Brrrrye. So that was where he went with this blend. First bottle, Elijah Craig single barrel, private barrel proof, from Tally-Ho Liquors in Delaware, 8 years old, 131 proof. That was the first component.
Delaware.
Second component, Old Forester, again another Old Forester single barrel strength. Warehouse K, floor number 3 from the Little Family Selection in New Jersey. What's up, Jersey? 128.3 proof. The third component, and this is where we get into the malted stuff, New Riff Malted Rye, bottled in bond,
nice.
Non-chill filtered sour mash.
That's good. That's
a 6-year at 100 proof. And then the last component of the blend was the Driftless Glen single barrel. Again, Mash and Journey, another pick from the Mash and Journey. Black Forest Bugaboo, 60-20-20 mash bill, 5 years old, 120 proof. The malted Brrrrye came in at 120.6 proof total for the blend. So real quick, I'll give you the percentages. 31% of that Elijah Craig barrel proof, 25% of the Old Forester single barrel, 25% of the New Riff Malted Rye, and 18.75% of the Driftless Glen. So that was his blend.
Wow.
So both of them, A and C, seemingly the rye that was in those was what set them apart from the two that we like the most. It'd be interesting to see what it would taste like with it.
Yeah, I'm going to be very fascinated to find out what B and D are.
Yeah, so the two that are left here are Eric Sawyer, with No Butterflies Were Harmed in the making of this blend, and Shelby Strunk with the finisher. So let's see what went out. So we had letter D as our favorite. B just a shade behind. Let's see who letter B was. And I mean, we're going to know the champion now. Letter B belongs to Shelby Strunk with the finisher, which means Eric Sawyer, with his No Butterflies Were Harmed in the making of this blend, is the Blendageddon champion for 2022. What? Congratulations, Eric.
Gosh, Jason, if the winner is all Blue Run, I swear you will never live it down.
I will never live it down. Never, ever, ever.
Well,
never.
That makes two.
Holy shit. Okay, let's find out what's in letter B. So what were the guesses? I said there was a weeder in there. What were some of the other guesses?
I thought there was some Dickel in there because I got the
And
metallic. I got a metallic off note there.
I got some
Fred
Heaven
said-
Hill profile, but
All right, Heaven Hill, Dickel were the guesses. I said weeder. Let's see if all of us were wrong or if we were on the right track here.
it's very good though.
Damn, dude, you have to tape it? Shit.
Hey man, he doesn't want anyone messing with it. That's how he
Yeah, I mean,
knows.
Jesus Christ, I can't even open this damn
It's
thing.
tape,
Like-
not super glue. Get it together.
It's like fucking packing tape. Okay, it's open. Here we go. The finisher. Well, Matt called it. ECBP.
Nice.
2 ECBPs were in this blend. ECBP B522, ECBP Private Barrel from Belmont Beverage from August 2021. So 38% of that B522 is in it, 19% of that Private Barrel, 9.5% Calumet 16, 9.5% Smoke Wagon Batch 137. There's the MGP. 9.5% Sazerac Rye. 7.25%. Now, it's not Dickel, but there is a Tennessee whiskey. We have a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof in the mix.
That's a big one.
And then lastly, 7.25% of Old Grandad 114. That is the full blend.
So when I first tasted this, I started talking to you guys, and then I was on mute for some reason. I must have bumped it. But what I was going to ask you guys if B reminded you of the winning blend from last year. Which
Hello?
Oh, there you go, Matt. Matt, you were freezing up a little bit. Say it again.
that's total bullshit, and I blame you. What I was saying is, when I first tasted B, I thought B reminded me of the winning blend from last year from Todd Ritter, the all Elijah Craig barrel proof blend. That's kind of where I was thinking B was headed.
He also had a dusty. Heaven Hill in there, which I think didn't he have a pre-fire Heaven Hill in that blend, which I think is what we were all picking up on for a dusty. I think that's what kind of put it over the edge for Todd Ritter last year. So Shelby Strunk this close, which means the champion goes to Eric Sawyer, and we're about to find out what's in Eric Sawyer's blend. Here we go, folks.
My only thought on this one was that it had some MGP in it. That was my only thought.
You thought what? MGP?
That it had some MGP in it.
I thought I got Buffalo Trace, but it could be.
You said Buffalo Trace. I said MGP.
I'm gonna taste. I'm gonna taste D again here.
I know this. I've enjoyed all of them. See a lot more after some time, but I'm still very firm in the order D, B, and C.
There's something really sweet.
so-
There's something really sweet about D that I don't think you would just get from an MGP, a Logitech barrel proof. I think there's something else in there. So I don't know what that would be, whether it's a light whiskey or a corn whiskey. I don't know, but there's something very sweet in that.
D's got it going on.
Yeah, D's got it. D's got all the things. All right,
I want to buy.
let's,
D.
I wish we had last year's left so we could compare.
I know.
last
I
year's
have,
winner
I have
this year.
none of that shit. No butterflies or harm means no blue run. Thank God. Okay, we'll see what happens here. All right, let's see what's in this blend. So right off the bat, you guys were kind of both right. 33% Elijah Craig C920.
That's not anything what we said, but okay.
Oh, I thought you said Heaven Hill. You didn't say, oh, maybe you didn't say Heaven Hill for
I
this.
said Buffalo Trace. He said MGP.
Buffalo Trace. Okay. 32.5%. Russell's Reserve 5. There's your MGP.
Russell's Reserve.
Russell.
What?
Russell's Reserve.
I'm sorry. Remus Reserve. Number 5.
Remus.
Oh,
Remus.
there it is.
So Elijah Craig at C920, 33%. Remus Reserve 5, 32.5%. 32. Okay. So here it is. Penelope 13-year American light whiskey,
MGP.
32.5%.
Look at you dropping some
nailed it.
light whiskey up in here.
That was the super sweet note I was getting. I mean, yeah. 1%. So wow, shit.
Also MGP, by the way.
Also MGP.
Yeah.
For sure. Then he had 1% Staves and Grain 95.5 MGP rye whiskey.
Wow.
Then he had a 1% of Old Forester President's Choice number 18. Wow. Full proof of it as measured was 120.35 proof.
I
And
just
dude-
know that means that's some good whiskey right there.
That is some really good whiskey.
That's fine whiskey.
So thank God there were no fucking blue runs in that blend, because I would never be able to live it down. So thank you so much. But congratulations to Eric.
Wait, did they write you and say like why you don't like Blue Run or something?
No, I trash Blue Run every chance I get, because I just can't stand their whole deal.
Butterfly and marketing and stuff.
The marketing, the butterfly, their weird website where it says we honor the past, but put those bottles aside to honor the future. They're sneakerizing the bourbon industry. There's no transparency. The high prices. I can't get up. Even though I love Jim Rutledge and what he does, I can't get on board with Blue Run. Not yet.
Well,
Hopefully-
transparency. Jim's got to make a living, you know, and like his
listen, I get
his
it.
distillery didn't work out. So,
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
but if you pull him aside, he's not going to be like, oh, it's
Yeah.
the best thing ever. I mean, Jim's going to be Jim. He's the most honest person I know.
Yeah, he's the it's like they're the future of bourbon, but I hate their marketing so much. It's such a pile of bullshit. I can't stand it. So anyway,
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. But here's my thing, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hijack. I just this is my little rant. Blue Note, and Blue Run. One of you change your name to Red something. I get you mixed up way too often.
yeah.
So, and I happen to really like Blue Note a lot. So somebody change it to Red.
We could call it Joint Run, but I think that would probably be a different area of, I don't know, you know.
So Bev Porter gives an holy shit $22,447.
Right?
Yes.
That's so awesome.
That's a lot of that's a lot of freaking coin right there for the kids. I love it. Kim Schwartz donated $1,100. So she is in the lead for the private tasting right now.
Kim, you're gonna get
actually no, we went past the 5 minutes. She wins the private tasting. It's all to Kim Schwartz. Congratulations, Kim.
way to go.
So cool.
Kim Schwartz. She's winning the private tasting. Holy shit.
So Kim, very excited to have this tasting with you.
Yeah, Kim, before I forget, Kim, if you're watching, email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com, themashanddrum@gmail.com. Shoot me a message and we'll get something on the calendar in the new year and do a private tasting. And, you know, if you want to invite some friends to it, you know, we're all about it. And we'll do some samples. So it'll be great.
America.
Congrats, America. So what does Eric Sawyer win? So Eric Sawyer, first and foremost, you're going to win. Let me turn that off.
Oh.
So Eric Sawyer, first and foremost, you win Bourbon, The Rise and Fall of American Whiskey book. Written by Mr. Fred Minnick.
I'll even autograph it for you.
4-pack of Stave and Bean barrel-aged coffee, a 1-year subscription to Bourbon Plus magazine, Agenor bottle flight set, the Agenor spirits flight set. I didn't change that, but the American, you definitely win the championship T-shirt. I'm actually working with an illustrator to create the Blendageddon champion T-shirts. And then you will
Jason,
win.
have you trademarked this yet?
What?
Blendageddon. Have you trademarked it?
I have not trademarked it. No.
Trademark that shit. That's a
Okay.
good fucking name. You need to trademark.
And then M&J. Then you're going to win the Barrel Craft Spirits M&J Barrel Craft private release that we just released. It is actually going to be this one, the Miser's Sherry Blizzard Barrel from the Madison Journey Whiskey Club. It is a
that
sherry.
Scott?
It is. I base it off of Scott, and then this one was me, the Miser's Madeira. Yeah,
That's you.
yeah, that's me, and then this is Scott.
That's hilarious.
That is an Oloroso Sherry
Jason.
blend from Kentucky and Indiana bourbon. You win a bottle of that. But the big prize is coming up here next year in May.
Uh-oh.
You will win an all expenses paid trip to Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, to attend the Mash and Journey Spring Fling at Sagamore. You'll get an all expenses paid trip. Everything will be paid for, your hotel, your flight, whatever you need to get there. And you will be crowned champion at that event. So congratulations, Eric Sawyer, to everything. This an unbelievable blend to go through 30 different blends, 8 different rounds, and make it to this point. Eric, you blended something fucking amazing. So congrats.
Jason, can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
I'm Eric Sawyer.
No, you're not, are you?
That's a joke.
Don't even fuck with me like that, because I'll believe you.
Wow, I believe that. You know, I mean, I get the wry sense of humor and being able to have that good straight face, but I believed it. You know?
Well, I did that to Jason at the last round, because Jason did a totally different round where it was like a Frankenstein blend, where I did that to Jason. Where I pretended that was somebody else and I won it. So
yeah,
suck on that.
And now Jason's fucking with your mic, so I think he took it personally.
What I hear his mic fine. The mic's okay.
All right, then it's just my headphones.
Oh, Matt, there's Eric Sawyer. I'll throw in a sample of 2 of my blend for the giveaway. I mean, Eric, I appreciate that, but there's just too much shit we got to go through here. But really, real quick, Kim Schwartz, she's going to win the private tasting. And then as far as the rest of the bottles that we have up for the giveaway, Shayla the Whaler, how are you holding out? You okay? Do you have a set list to give away some of these bottles? How are we doing here?
She fell asleep like an hour ago.
She might have fell asleep. Right now, it is at $22,447 for St. Jude. So I want to give a big round of applause to the chat room and everybody watching. Thank you so much, guys. Fucking
awesome.
Thank you,
incredible.
everyone.
Incredible.
Jason, thank you for doing this. And Fred, we know you're busy as shit, but thank you for doing this 2 years in a row. You're the best, man. Thank you.
I love you guys. No, seriously. When we started having the conversation to do this, I was like, I love doing something. I've been messaging you both hey, let's do a collab on something, and then I never follow up. And
yeah, I was like, yeah, you emailed me. I'm like, yeah, what dates work good for you? And then I never heard again, but I knew
pretty much.
I knew Blendageddon was coming up anyway, so I'd be talking to you regardless.
And I would not miss this. St. Jude is so special to me, so I would not miss this. So, and the truth is, Matt, you're a busy boy too, and you're looking great. You're doing great things, and I love the shit out of both of you. I really do. I think what you all are doing is incredible, and Matt, you'll be hitting 100,000 subscribers next year. Jason, you will be too. And I'll be very, very much in the rear view with my ludicrous videos, drinking straight from the bottles, thinking yeah, go guys, go.
Well, yeah. So, Jason will have 100,000 subscribers. I'll have 49,000 subscribers. And Fred will be drinking bourbon with Taylor Swift, laughing at us all.
Lady Gaga is a real possibility. Taylor Swift is not. Taylor Swift is untouchable.
Listen, if you get Lady Gaga, just let me watch.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of it.
Something, Fred. Would I do something crazy to watch that? Shit. Yes.
Tell me something, Fred.
So I got Gibson. I am now soon. I'm going to be recording all of my videos in Gibson Guitars Garage, their special studio in Nashville. and they gave me a private tour into their vault, and they're like, "Yeah, that's Keith Richards' amp right there," and you can see his like where he puts his ashes out on his amp. I'm like Keith Richards like stubs his cigarettes out on his practice amp. I'm like, yeah, it's like a thing for him. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. But I got a lot. The thing about the big getting the big ones, to me, it's not as much fun as finding the name before they became a name. Like I interviewed Jordan Davis 2 years ago, and Jordan just won a CMA, and he's about to win a Grammy. Yep. With his song "By Dirt." And I just gotta say, like, that's what I look forward to. I like finding the talent more so than the people.
Dude, listen. You already have an in. You already have an in with Yellowstone. Can you please get Beth Dutton to drink Weller 12 with you on a video? Can you make that happen?
I could. Kelly's possible. Yeah.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
My two favorite Fred interviews, Jelly Roll was amazing. I never heard of Jelly Roll before Fred Minnick.
Oh, Fred Minnick, I didn't know who that was either. I did not know who that was either. I'm totally with you, Matt. Yep.
And my number one favorite, which is beyond, like, people probably would skip over this, but if you haven't watched Fred and Perez Hilton, incredible stuff.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
Oh, that was painful.
That had to be painful.
That was painful because of the prep going into that interview was they said he was a big Bourbon fan. I mean, honest to God, like the producers were like, he's a big Bourbon fan. And so I sent Perez Hilton, Old Rip Van Winkle, Michter's 10 Year. I don't remember what else, but those were the two that kind of come to my head. 291.
He liked that a lot.
Yeah, he liked that over the other two, but he like went he about barfed on Old Rip Van Winkle, and it was like, it was painful. It was painful.
But the interview, the questions you asked about him being an influencer before influencers, that's what made the interview so special, and I really enjoyed it. Not as even a whiskey talk, but more just like who you're literally interviewing somebody who interviews people, and that's kind of what made it special. Because everyone was like, when Perez Hilton came on the scene, they were like, "Who's Perez Hilton?" Like no one's ever really talked to Perez Hilton, and then to have Fred do that was really cool. That's a really good watch.
From a professional perspective, from a media side, I got a lot out of that. I really did. But from a whiskey perspective, it was tough. But I also remember covering him when he came out with his sake, and it was just like it was a big. And the fact that he talked about it was pretty funny.
Yes, Whiskey Central, do that. Send me the Google Doc for all the winners. This way we could throw it up here on the screen and let everybody know who won what. So I appreciate it, Shayla. I know she's sweating and she had a little bit of some technical difficulties, but yeah, you want to send me that through Facebook Messenger. We'll throw it up here and we'll let everybody know who won what. We'll get some emails out and then we could close off the night here for the new year. So I appreciate it. I will wait so real quick, Fred and Matt, one thing that I've been talking with my patrons about that I would like to get your feedback on as we're waiting for the winners here. Fred, one thing that you nailed for this year was the consolidation of distillers. Mm-hmm. Consolidation, Campari coming in, buying up. What did Campari buy this year? Jesus, I forgot already.
Wilderness Trail.
Yeah, so Campari buys Wilderness Trail. Bardstown Bourbon Company gets kind of, freaking Diageo comes in, buys up Alcones. What are some of the trends you're seeing in 2023 or maybe predictions that you're making for 2023? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think we are on the precipice of burnout for a lot of people. I think there's a very serious issue with people buying too much bourbon. And I'm talking about the little bubble we live in, and the bubble that the bourbon industry really does rely on to kind of carry the weight of marketing. Because what the distillers will never give the people watching is like, you all are super fans who market their products at parties, at liquor stores, at bars. You are the greatest form of advertising in the word of mouth. But who right now can raise their hand and is looking around saying, I need to make some life changes. I've bought too much bourbon. You know, I mean, there's a lot of that going on. And then there's the other side of like, I can't get the bourbon I want, so I'm done. I'll stick to that one brand I like, and I'm out of chasing it. I think that's a very serious issue, because that's happening within our community at the same time that the World Health Organization is pushing an agenda that says, like, you know, they don't want the alcohol industry, and very specifically whiskey, to be supporting charities like we are tonight. That's actually in a recent statement that they put out in mid 2022. They don't want alcohol companies supporting charities. They don't want them targeting women. This is from the World Health Organization. And there's all these little surveys coming out about, like, did you know alcohol caused cancer? And people are saying no, and that makes CNN. And so there's all these little things coming out from health organizations that are trying to create like a new form of prohibition where no one's telling you can't drink. They're just going to put all the barriers up they can and block as much advertising as they can. Meanwhile, social media companies have listened to that, and they are now blocking particular posts from people. And at some point on YouTube, I think we will feel this. I think we will eventually feel it. But right now we're not. But it happened with the cigar channels.
Yes.
But there's all of these issues coming from people who want to get everybody feeling better and healthier, which I applaud, but they want to take away something from someone else. And that's where we're at right now. You have the side from the bourbon community that's like kind of like, I'm kind of bored, tired of chasing, and I'm spending way too much money. And then you have this other side of like, look over here, that's gonna make you sick. Don't drink it. So you have two things right here. I've been talking about this a lot the past few years, and everything I've talked about has happened. I've predicted I even predicted the World Health Organization conversations like 5 years ago. And so like what I see like happening next year is more not from the distillery side, but on the consumer side. Either consumers are going to step up and say, fuck you, World Health Organization, and we'll make our own decisions, or they are going to fall in line with what the WHO wants. And in terms of what people will buy, I think that is that's up to their pocketbook. How bad is inflation going to hit?
Yeah, I agree with you on most of that. I mean, I think the dry bars have tried to make a dent in the whiskey industry, but haven't really done well. We had one here in Columbus that opened up that just closed recently. I don't really think people are going to those, but I do agree with the people just getting a little bit too overwhelmed with all the crap that's coming out. Everything's a limited release, and just kind of sticking with one brand and sticking with what you like. I'm not sure how much longer waiting online for these allocated bourbons can last, but we'll see what happens. Matt, you okay, man?
No, now I do have to pee, Fred.
No, he does have to pee. All right, well, Matt's going to pee. I'm going to show the winners here of the St. Jude's giveaways. Let me share my screen here. Let's see what we have here. The St. Jude's Lift giveaway. All right, guys, here we go. Let me make sure everybody can see this. Let me turn that off. So, again, if you're watching and your name is on this list, please email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com, and we will communicate and get your bottle sent out to you. Knob Creek 18, Albert Orozco. Barrel King Stagg Jr. goes to Tommy Teague. Elijah Craig 18, Mike Franklin. Tin Cup 14-year donated by ADHD Whiskey goes to Kim Schwartz. OKI Reserve goes to, what is happening here? I'm not touching anything. Goes to Kathy Graves. Barrel Bourbon Batch 10 goes to Kent Zimmerman. Noel Lojeski gets the 4-gate split stave. Bardstown Bourbon Company triple stave finish signed by Master Distiller Steve Nally goes to Kent Zimmerman. Tour passes, 4 tour passes for Bardstown Bourbon Company in 2023 go to AC Jones. That was generously donated from Bardstown Bourbon Company. Kentucky Owl Batch 1 Rye Whiskey goes to Nathan Jurgensen. Another Batch 1 goes to Jabril Amir. Chateau de la Baude Batch 2 goes to Ethan So. Four Roses Mash and Journey Single Barrel Pick goes to Noel Lojeski. That's an OESK 10-year, 2-month-old. The Four Roses Frugal McDougal Single Barrel OESK goes to Kim Schwartz as well. Four Roses 2017 100 proof single barrel donated by My Bourbon Journey goes to Michael Bro. Michter's 2-pack of straight rye and barrel proof rye goes to Wade Ward. Maker's Mark, the 2-pack. You get 2 bottles here of the BRT 1 and 2 goes to Hunter Ernest. Maker's Mark Private Select, Joshua Lephart. Sagamore Spirit Cast Strength Whiskey donated by Brian Tracy himself goes to Matthew Pierre Chacos. Sagamore Spirit, another one goes to Shane Hostetler. Another Sagamore Spirit Sherry Finished Rye goes to Ricky Wheeler. The 5-year Bottled in Bond goes to William Screws. Sorry, I had to laugh at that one. Booker's Batch. Booker's Batch 21 No Strangers Batch donated by 21090 goes to Todd Carrick. Peerless Single Barrel OHLQ pick goes to Todd Ritter. Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit goes to Kim Schwartz. Lux Row 12-year Double Barrel goes to Samara Musalam. William 4-year Rye goes to Albert Orozco. That was donated by Todd Ritter, last year's champion. Yellowstone Frankfurt Bourbon Society pick goes to Nathan Jurgensen. Spirits of French Lick goes to Nicholas Clayton. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B520 goes to Chad Rader. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C920 goes to Jerry Brewer. Old Forester King Ranch is going to go to Bo's Wine Guy. The Iron Root Promethean Bourbon goes to Ben Larson. Nice. Jen Farron wins the Millerman Green. Sean Yamashiro wins the Balcone ZZ Top Trade Hombre Edition. The Blantons, here we go. The Blanton Single Barrel goes to Christopher Tostado. 2 different store picks, one to Jeffrey Jankovic, one to David Still. Eagle Rare goes to Nick Combs. Eagle Rare goes to Adam Dorman. And Eagle Rare store pick goes to Jason Selman. Weller 107 pick goes to Clinton Brown. Weller Foolproof store pick, David Perrin. Another Weller Foolproof store pick goes to Tyler Smith. 2 5 sample packs from Durell's collection. One to Samar Musalam, one to Jeremy Hedman. Henry McKenna 10-year single barrel, 2 of them. One to Ben Larson, one to Marshall Koenig. Remus Repeal 5 bourbon goes to Andrew Smith. A Remus bourbon store pick goes to Noel Ojeski. New England Barrel Company single barrel rye goes to David Linville. Lost Monarch Cast Strength goes to Noel Ojeski again. Redbreast Kentucky Oak goes to Mark Mace. Redbreast PX Cask Irish Whiskey, Kim Schwartz. Devil's River Caramel Fudge goes to Albert Orozco. And lastly, the Fred Minnick sample pack goes to Mark Gallagher.
Woo, Mark, you and I are going to have a good time.
That was a lot of shit to go through, but holy crap, we did it. Okay, so if anybody watching was on that list, congratulations to winning. And again, more importantly than anything, thank you for donating. Can't say thanks enough to everything that everyone has raised tonight. The final number here that I am looking at is $22,467 fucking dollars. So that is amazing. Unbelievable. Everybody stepped up. Thank you so much for this. This is the perfect way to end the new year. My last live stream before we hit the new year. Thank you, Fred, Matt. Anything you want to add here before we sign off?
Fred, you go first.
Vodka sucks. Oh, you know what? I will go into. I could tell from the pause from my two co-hosts here that that was not what they were looking for. So, I can get I can get emotional pretty quickly. So I have to try to, contain myself. So I'm actually doing some grounding techniques as I'm talking about this. But I mentioned how important my father-in-law was to me at the top, and St. Jude was his preferred charity because he saved lives as a doctor, and that was the one charity that he felt was legit and didn't waste money and actually took care of people and put money into research. And he was such a scientist. And he dedicated his life to science and was a member of all those major science communities. And I just think of tonight, he'd be very proud. So Charles, I hope you're looking down from above, and tonight was for you from me. Cheers.
Oh man. Let's see here. So I'm not sure how to follow that.
No.
But we
So
are going to give away.
Never let Fred go first again.
Yeah. So we have 2 more bottles that that I think were missed. One of them was from Dusty Dan, and that one is a. So Shayla, that is a 1941 Three Feathers Bourbon quart donated by Dusty Dan. So we need a giveaway for that. And the other one that was missing that we need to add is from Adam Hinson, is Michter's Shanks Homestead Bourbon. So just two more winners, Shayla, if you want to refresh those.
That's the beauty of a chat. You'll get corrected very quickly. If
I'm getting my phone's blowing up, getting text messages come on, we need to fix this. So, Shayla, it's just yeah.
So, how Fred was talking earlier about the WHO and everything, I think that just having that on the horizon, or even in our brain a little bit, kind of if you're watching this, then the people who you watch, the people who you I don't know, if you respect their opinion, if you watch what they do, if you watch their content, then join their email list, join Fred's email list. If they have a Facebook page, join their Facebook page, because you never know between day to day how things are going to change and when things are going to change. We could wake up tomorrow and things could be completely different. So if you want to continue to follow the people you follow, then go the extra step, join an email list, something like that. I'm going to say this. If tomorrow I wake up and I get an email from YouTube saying, guess what? Alcohol stuff is demonetized, I'm going to continue to do what I do. And then other platforms are going to present themselves. Other things are going to present themselves. We're going to continue to do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Will I end up writing articles in a friggin' magazine like Fred? Gosh, I hope so. Fred, start a magazine for us. Because who knows what that's going to happen.
Or start like a bourbon news network or something, and we could all just communicate.
Well, as a matter of fact, boys, I did start a magazine, but that whole pandemic kind of got the shit.
Yeah.
But it still exists. I'm just no longer the editor in chief. But I actually have I have been in the works of starting an OTT network. And I'm an advisor to an OTT network to just, and so I know that world a little bit, but, and I happen to own a couple pretty good trademarks and URLs. So I'm ready to roll. If you all, would you all really, like, if I started this thing in like 6 months, would you all really like be interested in going down that road? Because the time is coming, boys. We're not going to have access to YouTube. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Alcohol is going to get shut down monetized wise by YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I see that coming too, but I think that whether it's Fred Minnick or other people who see that same problem, I see a resolution or somewhere else to go. There has to be somewhere else. Like, there can't just be like it's either YouTube or nothing. You know what I mean?
It's going to be somewhere else.
Like,
The problem with alcohol, and this is something that I have seen and ran into throughout my career, is the way it is regulated within media, and all the things that come out, of like, trying to control alcohol speech, because alcohol speech, we are under a different, we're under more under the FTC's Federal Alcohol Administration Act than we are the First Amendment. Like if ever Discus, which has been granted to be the watchdog for the federal government because of their uniform code of conduct, if Discus deems your stuff to be against their code of conduct, they can report you to the federal government. They took down a Kardashian. I mean, yeah. I cannot emphasize this enough. They got a Kardashian to delete a post of them sipping alcohol from a straw from the bottle.
Which Kardashian?
That's a Kardashian. That is power. And so that, like, they, I mean, in the social media world, that is like, that's like real power. There, as much as I can't
it wasn't
stand
Kim.
It. What's that?
It couldn't have been Kim.
No, it was.
No, it was the one that looks like Frankenberry. They got all the work done.
It was Kendall Jenner, I think. But my point is, the minute that and they just changed their practices with what they allow. The minute that you look like you are advertising intoxication, which you drinking straight from the bottle is, looks like, according to Discus, is advertising intoxication. I don't agree with that, but that's how they perceive it. And anything that has to do with like children. So if you were to have your baby, have your bourbon in the crib with your baby, well, it's innocent. You're celebrating your baby. They're going to take it to the extreme. And that's the kind of lens you have to look at, is not necessarily how you mean it, how our community will see it, but how the regulators will perceive it, and how the world will view it. It's a different world out there in the normal sphere of like how people view alcohol. They don't view it like us.
Listen, I think the one thing we have is options, whether it be another platform like Rumble or something else, or whether we go all in on, doing something with you, Fred. There are options for us. So I'm not worried about it, to be honest. So I think the collective community.
This live stream is brought to you by DraftKings.com, where you can spend all of your family's money in one shot on the Bulls tonight.
They were once a sponsor of the Fred Minnick Show. And
yeah, good old DraftKings. Hey, that DraftKings is going live here in Ohio on New Year's Day, January 1st, man. Everyone's going to be becoming a bunch of gambling degenerates here. It'll be
You know what's
amazing.
crazy is like the NFL was always like
I
no
thought-
gambling. Baseball was always no gambling. And now tonight's game is brought to you by MGM,
Right.
Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel.
Mhm.
Yep.
Gamble,
Whiskey
gamble,
is
Please
part of
share
our
that
history.
with all your friends. But like, I thought Fred, so nobody I knew personally was ever like asked to do that. I thought that there was an alcohol gambling problem where like DraftKings or somebody like that couldn't present themselves to an alcohol community.
Yeah.
But now that you say that they present themselves to you, that's like, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now they were like, they were thinking, you know, it was me, Joe Rogan, and a few other like, very male-centric demographics, and
Joe who?
yeah,
Joe-
yeah,
Oh, okay.
his downloads are a little better than mine, but it was a 3-month campaign. You know, they were happy, their check cleared.
All right, guys. So real quick here to finish things off tonight, Dusty Dan with his 1941 Three Feathers bourbon is going to go to
Ooh.
Kim Schwartz. Adam
Old
Hinson.
Finley product.
Yep, it's a Shenley product. Adam Hinson with his Shanks bourbon from Michter's is going to go to Christine Vasco. And lastly, the Discovery 4 from Big Vic will go to David Frields.
Nice. Let's go for so good.
I know it's so good, man. I'm going to say this: the Shayla, who is tracking all these giveaways, she said that there were so many donations coming in that we broke the tracker, and that's if you could break things, then I'm happy. So I want to say congrats to everybody watching and thank you for
Yeah.
the donations again, guys. Right now we are sitting at $22,467 that is going to go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
That
So-
plus that's insane.
Yeah, and that's not even
Listen.
counting. That's not even counting the super chats, which we'll see further down the line. I will release the totals. I will post the full list of winners again,
Wow.
probably tomorrow at some point. I'm traveling tomorrow, but as soon as I get to where I got to get to, I will post everything so everyone can kind of figure out who won. Email me at themassandrum@gmail.com to figure if your name was called. And again, I want to thank, of course, Fred Minnick and Matt Porter, World's Top Whiskey Taster, to help us out with not only crowning a winner of Blendageddon, which goes to Eric Sawyer. Congratulations again, but
So
raising
good.
all this money at the perfect time of year for St. Jude Children's Hospital to help them fight cancer. So thanks again so much, guys. Matt and Fred, dude, Happy New Year, guys. I
Happy
love
New Year.
I love the both of you guys so much. I really hope we collaborate more here in the new year. I'm looking forward to more, and I just want this community to keep growing, and the channels to keep growing, and more success for everybody. So cheers to you guys.
This is a good trifecta right here. I like, you know, we have the three of us have a really good rapport. So
Yeah.
I'll say
It's
that.
a good thing. All right, guys, I'm gonna let everybody get offline here. Again, cheers, thank you, love all of you. Thanks for the support tonight. We have a huge donation going to St. Jude's. That's all because of you. So
Incredible.
we'll see you guys in the new year. You'll see me next week here. I'll be doing my top ryes of the year, followed by my top bourbons of the year shortly after that. It's just going to be a fun couple weeks here in January. Make sure you subscribe to ADHD Whiskey, subscribe to Fred Minnick, and we'll see you next time right here on the Mass and Drum. Love you guys. Take care.
Woo! Vodka sucks.
Yeah, vodka sucks.